broadcast is live.
Everything you say now will be recorded.
Please stand by for the nozzle.
The what?
Every time I hear the word nozzle, I think of that from Venture Brothers. It's a ridiculous, genius gag in, I don't remember what season of Venture Brothers. Do not try to resist the nozzle.
And unless I'm not mistaken, that's a sexual reference?
About 54%, yes. No more than that. But hey, if you round up, that's 100.
Well, I guess nobody got the note that...
Rob said that he got the note because I checked because we were having weird email issues, but he said he got the link. And he said he would be here since he said he was tested and everything. And I'm like, well, we're going to be online.
Yeah, we're not. But yeah, I'm pretty sure we don't need to worry about that kind of thing in this situation.
Oh, it's like
we're currently in.
I've said to my siblings many a time that although we miss her dearly, my mom's mom, she's, as I've mentioned before, she's the one who anything you wanted to do, she knew someone who got killed doing it and would tell you the story.
Oh, really?
Yeah, worried about everything. She's the one who threw away her entire, I was so pissed. She threw away her entire National Enquirer collection of years and years of back issues of National Enquirer because she was afraid after 9/11 when they had the anthrax attack on the National Enquirer offices. She was afraid it had not only somehow gotten into the ink, but had somehow retroactively gotten into the ink of the issues she already owned. And so, yeah, she worried. It's and as my mom would often say, and this is the woman who raised me. So, yeah. I was pissed. I would have taken all of them because that was back when the National Enquirer was amazing. Like, you know, you had National Enquirer. Oh, there's JJ. You had National Enquirer, and then Weekly World News went beyond just a little bit, and then there were other tabloids. But now Weekly World News knows it's a parody of itself and has acted accordingly, which is both heartwarming and sad at the same time. So it's like the rest of life, is I guess what I'm saying.
Well, in this world we live in now,
yes,
it's nice that some people, because corporations are people, can be aware of their own.
I know it's hard to say it and keep a straight face, huh?
JJ is dialing in from the West Coast. What's your hot take on DST? And permanent DST.
I'm all for it being permanent.
Get rid of it, yeah.
But it'll be so much darker up there.
Yeah, who gives a shit?
Yeah, sounds great. A darkness.
Not sure if you know, but they've invented this thing called a light bulb.
It's rocks.
Yeah. Well, I've got candles lit right now. I mean, shit.
I also want to hear Rox's take on daylight savings.
Oh man,
they're killing it. They're killing it.
No less.
I was out raking leaves. I have extra time.
My favorite thing.
All I can tell you.
My favorite thing about the whole process is reading that nobody really expected it to go unanimously through the Senate. It's just nobody was looking. You know, they're like, we're going to do this thing. And they were like, that's okay. Somebody will show up and say no. And then
I know. You know what? It's like when the other president snuck in all the declassified alien UFO stuff into whatever budget. Right? It's like, wow, we have stuff now. Declassified.
Actually, that was the thing. He can declassify anything he wants. The president can, just by saying it's classified.
Yeah.
So my favorite thing of the other guy was when he basically said that where he said that something that they were looking for evidence was basically, essentially, he said it was declassified. So I was like, okay, well, great. Let's just grab it then.
Right. That's right. So I don't know. This daylight savings time, I'm older now. So it's just like, it's killing me. Well, I've gotten better, but yeah, it is. So, okay. So next year they'll vote permanently.
Isn't it 2 years and then it goes permanent?
I guess.
Or did I read that wrong?
Well, it hasn't passed the House yet. They haven't even taken it up yet.
Oh,
So
true.
does not matter.
Nancy will be like, no.
You know, and honestly, the main reason that I would want it to change one way or the other is I'm tired of my cat being confused every year when it doesn't get fed at the right time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We actually were hoping for DST to roll around because my dog is set on a cycle where no matter what, it was getting up at 5 o'clock when we fell back, because it was used to getting up at 6, and then finally when the time rolled over, then all of a sudden it was back on schedule and waking me up at 6 to be fed or to go out or whatever.
Huh.
I know, right?
Yeah.
I've tried explaining it to her repeatedly. She does not seem to understand the concept of time.
Do you know the worst part is that, like, I'll do this thing where I will set the clocks like 6 p.m. either way, either forward or the backwards, whatever you have to do, or spring forward, fall back. And you could will yourself to say, okay, it's 6 o'clock now. It's 6 o'clock, even though you know it's whatever. You know, if you pushed it forward, you know it's 5. It doesn't work. It just does not work. Trying to will yourself, and then when you're dragging yourself to the pool in the first morning, you know, swim, and it's just like, God, this is horrible.
Willpower is overrated.
The spring forward is the worst. It is. But then the fall back is that weird, oh my God. Like, if it's cloudy, you know, and you live in a northern climate, really, it's dark at 3. You know, it's bad. So
Rob, us geezers we're discussing daylight savings time and wanted to join in the fun.
Oh, yes, and you have a, you know, Paul Lynde shirt on.
It glows in the dark.
Does it really? Turn off the lights. Let's see.
I have to let it sit for a while. I didn't realize it glow in the dark till like when I went to bed with Janet, and it scared the shit out of her. Well, then I went back and I read the thing. It's like, oh, you have to like set it under a lamp for like, and I just took it out of the closet today.
Oh man.
Yeah.
You're taunting us with that. Where'd you get it?
I got this as a
Where'd
gift.
you get a kickback? Just tell us
I
where
actually got it as a gift, so I'll have to ask them where they got it. So
okay.
There's also a Rip Taylor
I love it.
with it that's pink.
Oh my God,
Wow.
John.
Yes.
Your beard. It's so white.
Yeah.
Are you going to be Santa for Christmas?
Why did you want to sit on my lap?
Warning.
I am not going to go there because I like your wife.
You heard that? She's not picking you. She likes your wife.
Yeah.
Is this a bad time to ask if on in a coming Friday if I could crash at your place?
Why the hell are you going to Jacksonville?
What's that?
Oh.
Why the hell are you going to Jacksonville?
To move my daughter.
Oh.
Are you moving her this like Friday?
Not this Friday.
What Friday?
I didn't want to give April 7th.
He said a coming Friday, which meant soonish.
Yes, I will. Yes, you can do
Read
that.
the room, Rox.
All right.
I'm writing a note.
What was the question? Oh, it was all about my beard. Yes, I'm old, Rox. Rox, the end of the story is I'm old.
Beards just turned fucking white. Mine's
Skip to
been
the end.
That is true. Oh, wait a minute. Hold on. It's not just me.
Well, no, but okay,
Hello?
JJ, for
Allow
the
me-
last
maybe you can't
number
see
of
it, so-
podcast. Hold on.
Just across
Jake-
bearded men across the top. That's all.
But he hides it behind a mic, so this is the
And then
first time
toughly,
I've seen how
hey,
gray
Yeah, look,
JJ's
beard,
is.
no beard, beard, no beard, beard.
And my
Okay,
beard's
beard.
been my beard's
Where's
been
this game of
mostly
Who's
white
It?
since I like pretty much since I graduated high school.
I think I missed a memo.
I don't know. It wasn't.
We have memos.
It was brown.
When did that happen?
Simultaneously,
It's, okay, this part it has never. There was a thumbprint on this side that has never had color. The other side just sort of slowly turned white when it felt like it.
Hey, can you let that thing grow down to like where your mic is, and then you can cosplay ZZ Top for Dragon Con? That would be awesome.
I get frustrated. It's actually longer now than I generally like it, but yeah, it's just along with everything else in the world that I can't do right now because my dominant arm is all fucked up. It just means that the beard grows as it wants to grow.
Sorry.
Nah, it means that hell yeah, it might be ZZ Top anytime soon.
Be fucking awesome. If you go to
We have to rig the shag guitar to spin around. That's what.
Yeah.
if you go to Jackpot Records, right, and they mistake you as the guy from ZZ Top, go with it. They'll give you free shit. They'll let you take like $100 free. I told you that story, right?
No.
When I went to
They
Jackpot,
thought you were from ZZ Top.
no, they thought I was Frank Black.
Oh, okay. That makes much more sense.
So,
I was so confused for a second.
and they're like, "Oh, it's great to meet you," and I'm like, "Okay." And because earlier when I was in the store, someone recognized me from Dragon Con, so I thought they were all thinking I was, that. And the guy's like, "Oh man, great, thanks for coming in." Blah blah blah. He goes, "You have $150 in store credit." I'm like, "Oh, okay." So I'm buying all this fucking records, and they're shipping it, and they're offering to ship it and stuff. And I'm leaving. It's like, "Hey man, can you sign some stuff before you go?" And I'm like, "Okay." And they stick like 5 Pixies records in front of me, and I'm like, "Oh, hi."
I can't believe no one asked you why you fired Kim.
I know.
I'm getting to that. And then, so I'm filling all this out, and the dude's like, "Yeah, man, that sucks about Kim Deal." I'm like, "Well, it happens." And I kept signing, and then I handed him back the records, and then this girl comes up and she says, "Can you sign my record?" I'm like, "I'm really in a hurry. I gotta go." And we walk out the door, and I'm walking as fast as I fucking can, right? And Janet's like, "I really gotta go." Like with this voice that she makes, she's like, "Don't you She's like, "I didn't realize what was going on in time to stop you." So
She can't. Janet can't. It was like that time we were in the WashU in
the math room.
the math room, and we're in the elevator, and there's a basement button, and I'm like, "Oh, a basement button!" And Rob goes, "Press it, yeah!" And Janet's like, "No!" And just she can't.
Some relationships have lines.
Janet can't win.
Well, we were
Hers is the basement?
This weekend we were coming out of a pizza place,
Then
and
we were locked out.
and
stuff.
Rahm Emanuel was coming out, and I'm like, "Sup?" And he's like, "Leave me alone."
Really?
I'm 90% sure it was Rahm Emanuel, or it was just somebody that looked like him. It was really annoyed.
Wait, Rahm Emanuel was at the Nick Cave show?
No, I was going to a pizza place. No, he was not.
He was on Two Guys and a Girl at Pizza Place?
No, he was on Mystic Pizza.
I'm sorry, I wasn't paying attention. What were we talking about?
Nothing.
The funny thing is though that Frank Black is in Portland quite often. I mean, so it's not the most unheard of sort of like holy shit.
I mentioned this to my friend later in the evening. He's like, "Well, he's in town here a lot." I'm like, "Oh." He's like, don't go to any more record stores for at least 2 days. And I'm like, okay.
Yeah. So Rob, I swear, when I thought you were talking about they mistook you for ZZ Top, I could just see the guys at the record store going, okay, the next guy that comes in, let's pretend we think he's in ZZ Top. It'll confuse the fuck out of him. It'll be totally worth $150 in store credit to just watch his face as he tries to work through this. Just follow my lead. Follow my lead.
No. No.
Nah, I think the record store I normally go to, they just know me as the guy who keeps coming in and asking if I can order the new Halloween, and they keep saying they can't order it, even though I know it's on fucking vinyl.
Did you not find it yet?
I have it digitally. I just don't have it on vinyl like I wanted.
All right, I have to go to the store tomorrow to pick up some boxes to mail stuff. I'll see if they have it.
Give him a list.
I get to go. Well, I go in at 9, so before it opens. So I have to fucking do it.
Give him a list and the
They
excuse.
can't order it for you. You know, it's like you go in and say, "I'm supporting you."
Oh well, that's the conversation. Well, see, that's the conversation we keep having, is that I know it exists, and they say that all they can get is this like limited edition gold version that's going to cost me like $400. And I'm like, no, it exists. It's out there.
It's out there. So, with the exception of my one friend that works at the record store by my house that lets me in before they open to shop, people that order shit at record stores are generally greedy and selfish and lazy, and they don't want to order it if they didn't know it existed because of ego, or sorry, I'm getting all high fidelity on you, or they are incompetent, or they're just lazy.
I was just stupid enough to look. I always remember being just dumb enough to go, I wonder if that exists.
I will say though, I generally go to a shop here called Music Millennium, and I love them. I might have that little running gag with them where they insist they can't get the record that I want, but other than that, they're great.
So when I'm trapped in Portland in September, we will go there and we will never leave.
Yeah, Music Millennium. We used to have 2 Jackpot records, like you mentioned, but my favorite one, the bigger one, closed. The one on Hawthorne is still there, and it's a nice store, but it's cramped, which just means that if you like the music that the buyers like, you're in good shape. If you have slightly more eclectic taste, if you're not looking for like that sort of
music,
well, it's like really you have to be
Lewis in the News.
Well, you're close. Actually, you have to be looking for that sort of like late '80s cool guy music, and I was never
Cherry Poppin' Daddy
cool guy in the late '80s. So
okay, wait a minute. So what's '80s cool guy music? What is that?
And this is my perspective. This is only my perspective. So I'm speaking from me. I'm just saying that
for all the millennials,
when I grew up in Mississippi. And I grew up a guy who liked, a lot of 60s music, a lot of punk, a lot of hard rock, and all the guys that I knew that, were in my estimation cool, like the guys that their parents would actually let them read Tolkien and shit like that. Because my parents wouldn't let me read that because of good old Satanic Panic.
Hey,
okay.
But so they would always, so those were your I'm gonna get so embarrassed when I say this because I know these are bands that you guys like. But I'm saying it, for me, they were the people that were cool. It just wasn't my taste. But
hang on, I'll get my phone.
Somewhere Clutches had though that they got skipped.
Clutches never skipped.
How did I get fooled by my own voice?
Clutch has the second to last word on every one of these.
But it was things like Depeche Mode and the Pixies and that whole Echo and the Bunnymen and whatever, like that was
really
ABC.
My least favorite Blue Oyster Cult song.
So the first Pixies record dropped in '89. So are you talking like if those bands in the '90s were kind of lame in the '90s? So
it all blends into me. So
Okay.
Music Wikipedia has spoken.
I mean, I'm in the Pixies. I should know when the record comes out. Yeah.
Do you?
No, I don't.
Like, I remember honestly, like the coolest guy in one of my math classes had had the entire words to the end of the world as we know it written on his textbook, but it was like the week the song came out, and so he was like just considered the coolest because everybody wanted to read his book.
Ezra, ladies and gentlemen.
How are you?
Hi.
We're good.
Oh, wow.
Are you sure you've entered the correct chat?
Not at all. No.
No, I'm sorry. It's fine.
It was
Doc Ezra has entered the game.
There you go.
Yeah, JJ was just telling us all about 80s cool music.
Oh, please no!
Oh, I don't know anything about it.
You can only name 90 bands.
No, I
90
had to
bands.
I don't remember. You know what? I don't remember what a cool person would be in
No.
high school.
I was just afraid
I
he was
don't
going to
remember
mention
much of
something I had the T-shirt
stories
for.
on that.
I guess it would be this one guy, Chris Hine. So I graduated 78. So he was like the first one with a Ramones T-shirt. Like, and I saw him at our 30th high school reunion. I'm like, hey, dude, you still have your shirt?
Did
He's
he
like,
still have that
"I do."
same Ramones T-shirt? And the smell.
Does.
I can't find mine. I need to get a new one.
I do too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you really?
One of my happiest memories is getting to see the Ramones
Yes.
just before they stopped touring. I was
Yeah.
they opened for Pearl Jam on the third record, Versus.
I'll take it.
That's a crime right there.
Oh,
Okay.
that's Vitology, I think.
It was Vitology. Yeah, it was Vitology. The other thing that really fucked me up about it is that
That
I
just kept getting worse as they kept going. That fucked me up too.
well, there was also the
Open for them on the
realized
Versus tour.
that if you are in a football stadium and the entire football stadium is only there to see the headliner and not the opener, a football stadium people can actually talk louder than the Ramones can play.
Yes.
And it
Which
was
is
heartbreaking.
says something.
So pretty much you'd be like, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, I think I figured that one out now. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, they're playing that one then. 1, 2, 3, 4. Shit, I can't quite hear it.
Which is about as long as a Ramones song lasts. So that's fine.
Yes, exactly.
Third loudest band I ever saw.
Third. Do I
Yeah.
want to
Second is
So the loudest was when I saw My Bloody Valentine on the Loveless tour. I was deaf for 4 days,
Oh, whoa.
and they played with Dinosaur Jr., which did not help.
Hmm.
And then
That's a measuring contest.
And
Oh,
then
it is.
I saw Ministry on the Land of Rape and Honey tour, and they basically lined the front of the stage from the floor to the ceiling with speakers, and they had a steel fencing on front of the stage.
yes.
Great, because a bunch of the kids in high school that I knew that were all assholes went to the show. So my friend Matt Moore and I took turns throwing them into the fence, and they thought we were being punk. And that is the first time I ever really got to use my steel-toed boots for what they were supposed to be used for, and it was awesome. Like 4 years of being bullied and harassed at school, I got even with them in one fucking night. It was amazing. But I was deaf the next day, so that was great. I think I actually had a bleeding ear for like a day.
Did anyone get like
Wow.
an arrhythmia though? Just
No.
from the concussion?
No, but Annie Lennox is okay.
Okay.
Dude,
very close to the stage during an Injustice for All tour show, and that did cause some chest pains. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that would. Yeah,
But
I would like to have seen them on that tour.
The
was good.
loudest
That was nice.
show I went to was Jesus and Mary Chain, actually, a couple of years ago.
That
You know,
was
that's what I was gonna say. But there's that at
they
Love
actually
News,
op-
though.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was the one where they basically did the bit where they ended by dude striking a chord
Uh-huh.
and then slamming the guitar back into its guitar stand, and then they just all left the stage, and it just
Yeah.
kept ringing until the crew turned it off. That was loud as fuck, and that
They
was
do
great.
that.
I saw.
Oh, yeah, I was like, yes, Thank you. Yes.
The
Chicago.
mud pit nonsense in '94 when Nine Inch Nails showed up at Woodstock was about as loud a thing as I've ever heard. Like I was hundreds of yards away from the stage and felt every bit of it ringing through my head for hours.
Yeah.
Are you guys earplug guys at all?
Yes.
Yes.
I am now.
I am now.
Because I was gonna say, I mean, I've been to some loud shows, but the show that taught me always to earplug was, and this is so embarrassing to say, is when I saw Cinderella, and my ears ached for like 3 days. Any sort of high pitched noise, I was in agony, and I was like, I'm not going fucking deaf for Cinderella. Fuck this.
All the
call.
props for having
I-
that show. My
Speaking of
friend.
Cinderella,
All of the props.
JJ, speaking of Cinderella, there was a guy in our hotel who had a Cinderella tattoo all up and down his arm. It was not one tattoo, but a series of Cinderella tattoos.
Was he in the band?
No, because I hope not, because the Eagles were in our hotel.
Like, I want to see.
So I'm in the elevator.
This is a Faulty Towers episode.
And this guy was like, and Janet's like,
Yes.
looks at me.
Yes.
And I'm like, you have a Cinderella tattoo. And she just holds me back, like gently. She's like,
Just,
and I'm like, I just said, I have to say, I've never seen that before. That's pretty interesting. And I just left it at that. But then he showed the other arm.
Oh God, what was on the other arm?
It was 5 Billy Squire tattoos and a Quiet Riot one.
Ah, shit. I was hoping you were gonna say Brittany Fox, just to keep it all in the Cinderella one arm, Brittany Fox on the other arm.
It was pretty awesome.
In the
I have to say it was awesome. And I will say this:
Your reference points to
wearing a fucking mask. I will say this though. Thank you.
As loud shows go, I will say I had the first. I'm happy to be returning slowly to live music. Now that things are starting to ease off. I saw Flogging Molly in fucking Huntsville of all places last week.
Oh wow!
Wow.
Had a blast, dude. And if you, I know we're not in the recommendations portion of the show, but it's been so fucking long. I don't know how you guys do things anymore.
You can
Go for it.
It's whenever.
It's all upside down. It's fine.
Same thing. You
They
just
had,
throw whatever out you want,
I was gonna
whenever
say,
you
do I
want.
write
You know.
this show?
Yeah. It's all scripted. It's all heavily scripted.
The openers were Ruskaya, which if you don't know them, look them up. They are basically Flogging Molly, obviously Irish influence, like folk punk stuff, right? Ruskaya is Russian folk infused punk stuff with a Russian lead singer and a Ukrainian lead guitarist.
Wow.
And that was amazing. They did the greatest cover of Sweet Home Alabama I expect I will ever fucking hear. And the other opener was a band called the Vandaliers.
Oh yeah.
So,
Yeah. Okay.
out of Dallas, they're like a country punk kind of band who closed their set with a rousing sing along with the Proclaimers, 500 Miles. That was awesome. But the Flogging Molly guys absolutely tore the place apart. If you get the chance to catch them on their current tour, like by all means do so.
Flogging
Molly.
Every bit
There was
of
a version of that tour that Frank Turner was on that he had just jumped off of.
Yes. And the Ruskaya and Vandaliers are falling off in like another couple of weeks, and they've got another couple of openers for like the summer portion of the tour.
Yeah.
But it's worthy. To have been at it for 20 fucking years, they're still killing it.
Yeah.
Flogging Molly is the only pit that I have been thrown out of. I mean, and you're talking to a guy that when I saw Motorhead, I accidentally ended up in front of Lemmy's mic, and I was there for the entire show, no matter how many elbows I got to the back of the head. But Flogging Molly started, and all of a sudden I found myself in the back of the room, and I was like, how the fuck did I get here? And I could not back. It's just
That happens to me whether I'm in a pit or not.
It's the most rambunctious pit I've ever seen.
I'm just at this point, I'm like, you kids have fun down there. I'm going to go find a seat.
I'm
Yeah,
gonna
my
Absolutely.
place these days is the very back of the pit, and I catch young people and throw them back into it. I'm
Isn't
like,
it great? Yeah.
I am
You
You
the
kids
buffer
have fun
zone.
storming the castle. I'm going to be back here.
I'm gonna go see the Circle Jerks in Atlanta, I think, and I'm thinking about Tuffley. You should go with me, and we can throw people in the pit.
Oh my God, that was the time when I saw Cake here in Atlanta for Midtown Music or something, and people were crowd surfing and like moshing to Cake, and I said, what we need like a 3 foot by 3 foot, a couple of these 3 foot by 3 foot concrete pads, and when you got one of these idiots crowd surfing, you would pass them to the concrete pad and then drop their asses on it. And the whole thing is nobody stands there, and that just stop, because I'm like, it's fucking Cake.
You're
What are you
organizing
doing?
ECW bumps for Cake.
I mean, your rock and roll lifestyle, sir.
I mean,
who was the headliner on that stage?
for Midtown. Oh Jesus,
Was
I
it
don't
Cake?
remember.
You remember?
It can't.
I don't remember. I will say this though. It was so rambunctious and weird that I finally fled and found myself in front of the stage for Michelle Nadegielcello,
Yeah.
who had like 30 people there. And I was like, holy shit, where is everybody? This is fucking amazing. So
Yep.
I was much happier there.
Yeah, I saw Kula Shaker with like 10 people, and I'm like, where the fuck is everybody?
Oh, which album?
The first one.
Okay.
Yeah, before they broke, like 10 people were there. Like, what the fuck is wrong with you?
Yeah, absolutely.
It's always nice to have I was there before the rest of you were.
Yes.
Yes.
Oh my God, that's for anything in the 80s.
Yeah, well,
I saw
waiting on-
REM. I remember REM as the college band, that the Cranberries.
The guys who would just play bars.
Husker Du. Husker Du was
They were
loud.
fucking good. I saw them on the Zen Arcade tour, and they also were loud. You know,
I saw White Zombie open for Pantera, and nobody there had any fucking clue who they were.
I saw
Their first album had been out for like a week.
I saw Pantera open for Skid Row.
Oh Jesus! Which, not for nothing, it's the whatever fucking anniversary of Far Beyond Driven this week.
Yeah.
25 years, 30 years, whatever it is.
Well, it's 35 years ago today that Among the Living came out from Anthrax. I know that.
Oh Jesus!
Wow.
I remember there was this period.
Fuck you, JJ.
Of the first couple of years, or the first year, like right after the first Alice in Chains record came out, they opened for everyone.
Yeah.
Literally everyone.
Yeah.
Hair metal bands, Ministry, they just opened for everybody.
I will, and I just realized something. That just occurred to me as funny that where I saw Pantera open for Skid Row was Stone Mountain, Georgia. The only concert I've been to in that area. I just happened to be in town.
Sorry.
It's at the Fox Theater, I think.
Yeah. I did.
So it might have been Atlanta proper. I don't know. I was in Stone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I always earplug now.
Yeah.
In fact, when I was in the band, I would switch out earplugs for keep one ear open during rehearsal, and then during a show I would just have them both open. I'm like, well, I'll spend the deafness points on this, but I'm preserving them as much as I can for later.
I saw the Pixies in Tampa a number of years ago, and I had my Shure 535s in, and my friend's like, "No, you're not wearing those, are you?" I'm like, "I'm getting old, and I'd like to hear later on."
Yep.
And they were fine. It was just huh?
You can either do earplugs or like I was going to say noise canceling headphones because those work really well too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was at a Megadeth.
I use these. I'm not kidding. And Scott, I think, does the same thing. That's why he wears, headphones just to cut the ambient noise at Dragon Con, just walking through the halls.
Yeah.
Not a bad idea. But yeah, I was at a Megadeth show once where the pyrotechnics went off, and the wave of concussion was so strong that you took a step back, and I was like, Jesus Christ, what are all these poor fuckers like that are not wearing not having ear protection right now? I imagine they didn't hear the rest of the show.
Yeah, I've been in a few shows where the heat wave and the sound off the pyro were something you could sense from the balcony seats.
I think it dried my hair instantly.
I think JJ and I need to spend more time in concerts together. It sounds like I found the like fellow kid here amongst the Need Coffee crew.
I would go to a show with anyone in Need Coffee. I can. There's very few people I can say that about too. So there.
Well, I'm gonna go see Primus do Farewell to Kings at the end of April, so that's gonna be awesome.
Oh, that would be.
Oh,
Nice.
okay.
Yeah, they're doing an entire normal Primus set, and then doing the entirety of Rush's Farewell to Kings as the second.
Yeah. I saw that.
So that should be cool.
In my weird return to music this week, I saw Godspeed 2 nights in a row.
Mm-hmm.
Holy fuck!
They still got it.
They still got it. Yeah.
And
2 nights.
Oh.
I'm not doing that shit again.
Yeah, but who was playing with them each night? I forgot.
With Godspeed, no, I didn't see anybody open. I just saw them because by the time I got out of Sparks, I literally got out of Sparks, put Janet in a cab to the hotel, and then I took a cab to go to Thalia Hall to go see Godspeed because they started already. And
Gotcha.
then the next night after Nick Cave, we ran across town to see Godspeed.
Ooh, how was the Nick Cave?
Nick Cave was great. Warren Ellis is a musical fucking genius. Yeah. And the crowds at both shows were like chill. They wore masks, behaved themselves. This very nice English guy that was next to us in Nick Cave taps you on the shoulder, says, "I'm so sorry to bother you or be an inconvenience, but I have to get up and leave my seat. Do you mind standing so I can get up?" And I'm like, "Oh my God, who are you?" Yeah.
These kids at the Nick Cave show
walked over you. So
what now?
Yep.
I said at a Ramon show, he just punched you in the face and walked over.
He was
you.
older. I mean, both shows had older crowds, so it was great. It was like all old people. So, hey, Toughly.
Yeah.
Sparks.
Yeah. Actually, that was Kim's. Last night was Kim's first concert since the pandemic.
Yeah, Sparks was one too. Yeah.
Yeah. I snuck out for Elvis Costello and the Wait, We're Okay portion of last year. So last October, I got to go see Elvis Costello, which again, we spoke about lines in relationships earlier. That is Kim's line in our relationship is Elvis Costello. So
as it should be.
Okay, then.
That is the line in our relationship for her. Mine is basically most musicals.
Yeah.
Because we have talked about the I bet they know a song about that rule. So we've spoken about that before. So normally, to set this up to remind listeners, normally at the beginning of a song, as the music is swelling, I will lean over to Kim and say, "I bet they know a song about that." And that is why I am mostly banned from watching with my wife, because that happens. The only two musicals I can get through is Hamilton, Avenue Q, and part of Sweeney Todd, and that's it.
Which part?
I have a question.
Yes.
Well, I want to know which part.
Questions. But the first question is, read the Elvis Costello line.
Yeah.
What is the right side versus the wrong side of that line? I'm curious.
What was it? Which song is it in particular? It's
One song?
It's the Every Day I Write the Book. She really hates that song.
Really? I like your wife.
Her line on Elvis Costello is much more forgiving than my own. I was just curious.
No. And that's where she draws. She's like, "Yeah, you go to that one, honey. You're fine."
As I told him once, you almost broke up the Pogues.
So
he almost breaks up for everyone. But she went last night with Sparks, and they're great, by the way, folks. If you're curious, Sparks, go see them. They are great.
I was this close to dropping my bag when we got off the train because a friend of mine in Atlanta had extra tickets. And then I was going to start working the phone for places to stay for a night to go see Sparks. And I mentioned this to Janet. She's like, "You're not doing that to anybody we know there. They will all kill you." And she's like,
Janet underestimates our patience for shenanigans.
No, she doesn't. No, she doesn't.
She doesn't. She let me stay at their house.
Yeah.
Well, Tuffley, I want to know which part of Sweeney Todd are you able to handle?
Oh, yeah.
That's the first part. Right?
I believe that as the murders are happening and not so much the everybody finds out part.
He only tolerates murders.
You so misunderstood.
It's the opening, right?
It's the body count basically. Once the body count happens, I'm kind of out.
Once it no longer feels like there's going to be a Netflix documentary about it, then fuck it.
And Tuffley, just tell her it's a version of Midsummer Murder.
It's a John Wick prequel
that you don't want to go see. Just tell her, Elvis Costello recorded a cover from that song.
The murders in Sweeney Todd, though, don't stop until the 3 minutes before the credits.
Well, he hates those 3 minutes.
Yeah.
Fucking can't stand them. He goes, I bet they know a song about this murder.
I'm very efficient in my musical watching.
Don't get me wrong. I get it. I can within a half a note of a Steely Dan song, I'm out. So I can recognize it. I'm already pissed and I'm out of the room.
Yeah. Apparently so does Amy Mann. So
yeah. Well,
now.
Even if I liked their music, I don't think I could get past the origin of their band name at this point. So, which is a thing I love sharing with fans of the band, just to ruin their enjoyment.
Oh yeah, but they're still evil.
Yes,
you're too banal to be evil.
Evil in the bad way, not like evil in the fun heads off bats kind of way. No.
They committed the greatest musical sin. They're horrifically boring.
The way I always put it down is I always assume that the way that the song appears in their head is exactly what ends up on the record. And I can't, and as a punk fan, I cannot think of a bigger insult.
So then you meant to do that?
That's exactly.
That's what you had in your head. Yeah, that's a thing.
When the melody popped into your head, that's exactly what you wanted, and you kept working until you got it exactly how you wanted it, and you polished it so clearly that I can see my reflection in the engineering.
So
just for the record, you could say that Elvis Costello wrote a song for the SpongeBob musical because so many other people wrote songs for the SpongeBob musical. You could sneak one in.
The subject of the SpongeBob musical did actually come up the other day,
which is great, by the way.
It is.
So
the subject of the musical.
After Godspeed,
the subject of the musical.
The musical, I think.
The SpongeBob musical is a great musical. It's great.
It is. I was I went expecting nothing, and I had a fucking blast. It was hilarious. And Colton wrote the majority of the music, considering that they used the song over and over again.
There we go.
So Rob, did you get to Quimby's?
Yes, I did.
She give me anything?
I
got you something, Rob. I got you some.
I'm just gonna say Christmas is in December, but I'll see you before then.
Well,
wait. Back up a second. Roxy just held up something. Is that a zine or is it instructions on how to use a coffee pot?
I have zines.
Or is it both?
I have zines for Roxy.
Why do they have to be mutually exclusive?
Yeah, I don't know.
I went to an estate sale here, Rox, last month of a guy that had zines. And I bought 70 zines from 1986 to 1989. They're fucking crazy.
Roxy,
how much did he
split up?
I know I am.
There was this range of emotions on Rox's
like a
face.
box
It was
for like $3.
incredible.
I got a box for like $3.
Get out.
Oh man, it was
Whoa.
great. Yeah.
All right. Well, I can.
Yes, I
can
went to
top
Bunnies.
that. I can top
Bunnies.
So
it was one of the few haunts that's actually still open that I enjoyed in Chicago because everything's fucking closed.
I know.
Still?
Things are open here in Florida, though.
Closing my favorite speaking.
We're in the free state.
My favorite freedom. Chicago closed, and the Mexican record store closed. The world is ending.
Not really. So
Yes.
Rob, this guy, Wasted Quarter. I've had the zine since probably 2010. This one's a 2006.
Okay.
So it's produced by Aaron, what is his name? Aaron Wallace. So it's this one, no, not this one, the other one. It's always like right near my bedstead because because he prints in 6-point type.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
Jesus.
So
Christ.
it literally takes me a long time to get through a zine. So he's from Minnesota.
Oh, well, there you go.
So
Did he used to print those tiny Bibles? Is that why?
no, no,
I
almost.
No, that's a smaller typeface.
I found an entire.
It is. It is. At least it's legal size. So on a whim,
No, she's a moderator.
On a whim,
Mediator.
I went to the Facebook.
There's nothing moderate about Rox.
I went to
Good
the
point.
Facebook and I found his other guy. There's two guys that produce this, and the other guy wasn't really, what's his name? Trav Clersey. So he wasn't really up to date on his Facebook, but Aaron was. So Aaron is still writing, even though he's not really doing a zine. So I read a couple of his articles. So his big thing is abandoned buildings in Minnesota. All right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Nice.
dead malls.
And stuff. So I'm like, oh,
Cool.
whoa. So I wrote to him. I'm like, hey, I read this article of yours. Really cool. I said, I had this copy of Wasted Quarter that I've had since 2010. Do you have any more? And he texts me back and he's like, yeah. I said, look, we have the largest zine collection in our library in the Southeast. I said, I'll take what you got. He's like, oh, really? I said, yeah. And so he sent me this box. I don't know. There's like pounds of zine. So I need to send you a set of what he gave me.
And I got a stack for you, and I have a zine. I got a zine for WEJ. Yeah.
So the
That
cool
could go
thing
in any
is,
direction.
So
No.
he does these things like in this Wasted Quarter is him hanging out in like IHOPs and stuff for hours on it. Booth rotting is what he calls it. I'm like, oh, this is so great.
Rotting.
I got a zine
Booth
on
rotting.
Amazing.
I bought a
He's
zine.
great.
I bought it, and it's in this box, and it's there's no way I'm gonna get to it right now. But I got a zine on whiskey, and basically this guy,
Doc's ears perked up.
took a shot glass.
Keep talking.
He took a shot glass of whiskey every night, and then wrote down 5 words after every shot of the first 5 words that came to him, and then wrote a short story on them based on the whiskey that he drank and put it in a zine.
Wow, I
like his concept, but doubt his commitment because one shot and 5 words is a little soft for an average.
Here's the thing: he's from Liechtenstein, so the English is very broken, and he's drunk.
Okay,
but that's okay.
it's okay.
I went, ooh,
Because you don't expect much from zines. So let me.
Well,
Sadly,
as much as I love Quimby, their actual zines to book ratio is greatly diminished.
Is it?
Yeah, but they still have a ton of really interesting and cool and
well, it's
awesome.
one of the problems is now the cost of printing has gotten. This is why I think Wallace has gone to online.
Yeah,
because the likelihood of actually getting a job at a quick copy shop is getting rare.
Yeah, we
to do those. To do these, and just run some copies when your boss is not looking, it's getting harder to do.
Yeah, we went
to none of us are working in actual offices. We're all working from home. We don't have access to
this is true
machines we can steal from anymore.
Yep. And I made sure I don't have a printer at my house. Yeah. I just don't. Just so I don't have that. Hey, can you print this? No.
Yeah.
Don't.
Okay. They still let me use the copy at the library. So if I have to run off extra copies of stuff, I just walk.
I do that too.
Yeah.
So
all these people trying to get workers back into the office, have they actually run the numbers to see how much they're saving in shit not getting stolen from the office because there's no one there to steal it?
Paper clips.
So I can tell you my workplace.
It's a wash of the productivity of the employees that don't actually fucking do anything when you're not looking.
Yeah,
that's true. You have to understand that we represent the edge cases, WEJ, the people that actually did shit when we were asked to do it without being watched.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. So
we also we knew how to do the stuff while no one was looking.
Although the research of basically my office is basically I've discovered that people tend not to want to come in Monday or Friday.
Yeah,
that's my new schedule. I'm not gonna lie.
If you leave everyone to their own devices, Monday and Fridays are out.
We were told that if we wanted to actually have assigned permanent desks that we didn't have to share, we had to be in like 50% of the time. I told them I work Tuesday through Thursday. I'll be off site working remotely Monday and Friday.
That's basically what happens here. So
the gig I started,
mine's Monday afternoon, and I have Fridays off.
I got Fridays off too.
Forget that.
They've gone to a 4-day work week at where the place I work at, and it's all remote, and it's pretty fucking amazing.
So really quick on the zines though, Rob. So I had a meeting with our our executive director of the library, and we have 21 branches. That's how big it is. It's as big as Oklahoma. So I'm like, hey, Tim, take these.
Your libraries are as big as Oklahoma?
Well, it's as big as Oklahoma's system. Sorry.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So it's like 21 branches. It's
a lot of books.
There's also a musical.
Well, honestly, though, Jacksonville is the largest geographical.
It's a scandal. City. It's outrage. That was my song.
So the cool thing is, so I hand him all these zines, and he's like, I really like our collection, and I'm like, what? He's like, yeah. He goes, I've been looking at it. I'm like, okay, don't throw it away. He goes, no. He goes, he believes, and I can see this, that historians will look at zines as a way of looking at regular life.
Yeah, the Library of Congress is going to start collecting them like in 2 years.
Because, I mean, when you consider, here's a guy sitting talking about, the IHOP and the employees and stuff. Or do you ever read White Elephant?
Yeah.
The chick that goes to the yard sales and stuff. That one's really good. So these are like these slices of life that, aren't.
Yeah.
Well, you can't get the zines, they're all self-published, but they have that cachet, unlike, self-publishing does for some weird reason.
When the alien historians try to figure out what led the human race down the path to destruction.
Look, okay, we found the wasted quarter. Yes.
So who's rotting?
So Rox, when we were in Chicago, the artists of this podcast had a Roy Johnson show.
Did you?
It was fucking amazing. Yeah,
I have
Roy Johnson did these really cool nail art things, and they had binders, or just a room full of binders, right? And they would just on a different day of the exhibit, they opened it up to a different page, and there were people that came every day to see, right?
Different page.
Yeah, and it was pretty incredible. It was, yeah.
Wow.
So yeah, and because it was the last day, I bought I very seldom buy exhibition catalogs, but yeah, it was great.
I like. There's sometimes a good exhibition catalog is
I've got a box of my mail art somewhere that people sent in the '80s, back when there wasn't the internet.
I thought of getting the one that's at the Grolier Club, the one on Sherlock Holmes and 222 objects.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. Take a look. They've got some really good. They've had like a month's worth of programming of free on Vimeo. Some panel discussions and stuff.
Yeah.
So he's got a couple of Sidney Paget paintings.
Yeah.
The guy that owns the collection. I'm like, wow. So, yeah. So zines. Buy zines, kids.
So I don't know the details yet, but there's a World Zine Conference in Chicago next year.
Really?
Yep. Just saying.
I will take any excuse to go to Chicago. So
as you should.
Zine Conference.
I need to go back. It's been a couple of years.
Yeah.
I know. I haven't done any traveling at all, and I just met up with my accountant. And she's like, "Any travel? No." Okay.
I've been to New Orleans 3 times in the past year, but that's about the only thing I've done. Well, I went to Orlando last week, but
I'd like to go to New Orleans.
That counts.
I want to go to New Orleans again.
it was fun. I swam with a dolphin.
We'll take your money.
Yeah, we have to go to we're going to Atlanta next month. We have to go to Baltimore for a wedding in May. And then we're going to go down to DC, and then I somehow got granted a day's access at the Library of Congress to listen to the Alan Lomax recordings. I have to show up at 8 a.m.
Hello.
I can just ask I can just ask for what I want, and they will get it for me, and I can listen to it.
Did you have to petition? Did you have to?
I had to send a letter and say what I was doing, and I just said that I am part of a podcast that comes out every once in a while. Sometimes it's scholarly, called Weekend Justice. And
so you lied.
And
got you in somewhere?
But I mentioned that
you're scholarly, goddammit.
Yeah.
We have scholars on there.
We should all write a paper. We should all. Oh my God, we should.
Like us.
You know what? We should do like a New England.
Shit. That counts.
New England Medical Journal for needcoffee.com. We all write something and submit it to our derelict zine.
Oh, God.
This is the study of what 3-hour podcasts do to your brain.
It's true.
I technically had a 4.0 in college, but the only classes I took were theater and comic books.
That's all right.
I mean, I had a 4.0 one semester, but it was also the semester I smoked the most weed, so I'm not sure that really tells you anything.
Yeah.
It is anecdotal.
Those are how the Aerosmith albums got made, so
it.
you're fine.
Weed? How dare you, sir?
What? I'm sorry.
It was legal back then.
That's the limitations
right now. It's legal right now where I am, at least.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I never said anything about it.
Not that
I'm not an employee of the federal government at all.
I do not get money. Well, actually, I don't get money from the federal government at the moment because I'm out on disability. But
if you did,
but if I did, I'd be clean. But I'm out on disability, so I'm not. Because the strange thing is, when you are a large, long-haired man going into a doctor's office and you tell them that you are in a lot of pain, they do everything they can to keep you from getting painkillers. So there you go.
You should come to Missouri. They get them out like fucking candy.
Well, I hear that here. Shit. Everybody I know has like a fucking medicine cabinet full of OxyContin, but you go in there and try to get it legally, and they won't give you shit.
I went to see my orthopedic guy about my knee before I left to Chicago. I said, "Yeah, it's my first concert in 2 years. It's gonna be great." He goes, "Oh, you do a lot of walking. You need anything?" I'm like, "Oh, I'm good. I'm totally fine. I haven't had any pain, and I'm good. And he goes, well, if you need some painkillers, I'm like, no, I'm good. I'm like, shit.
Yeah, I
don't like to put drugs I don't need into my system. So,
yeah, and and honestly, and this sounds
do that.
Where's the fun in that?
This sounds like a
It doesn't turn out well. Let me just. Sorry, spoiler.
The drugs I do need don't do anything for me because of the chemistry of my brain. So I mean, I'm fucked either way.
Well, that's the funny thing is I have to be very, because I literally only use it to stay. I smoke before I go to sleep because it's the only way that I can get comfortable because of my neck. But
I tried listening to Steely Dan.
Then I would just be mad and hurt.
For the rage.
No, I mean, if I was going to listen to something that would bore me, I was gonna say I can name a lot of bands that would bore me to sleep, like shit, Pink Floyd could do it, but
Moody Blues puts us to sleep.
I fucking love the Moody Blues, except for
either WEJ is chasing the invisible elves again, or he feels threatened.
I thought if you can still be friends with JJ after the Pink Floyd comment.
He smarts the Pink Floyd.
I was going to say that the one thing that is amazing about legal weed, though, is because I have really, really bad anxiety. If I smoke anything with too high a THC content, I am just fucked. I'm afraid that I'm going to fall out of a window when I'm on the floor. It's like it's heard. It's not even paranoia. It goes way past that. I mean, with the anxiety levels I have normally, I'm usually paranoid, and you put too much TNC in my brain and I'm just, it's amazing. I don't just break into small pieces and run around the room. So yeah, I have to look for stuff that has like no.
Yeah. That only happens when I take shrooms.
Yeah. When I got my anxiety meds, they made it abundantly clear that there were things I could not take.
Which was almost every other human being.
Oh, that was that way pre-drugs.
And funny thing, it goes back to what I was saying earlier. My therapist is very anti me taking any drugs for any of my problems. He's like, no, what you really need to do is talk about shit. And I'm like, Okay. Do you know how hard it is to have a performer go into a psychiatrist? And this sounds like a setup, but
I was about to say, was there a duck there?
But try to be real, because you go into your psychiatrist and it like you have that kind of mentality that if you can't make them smile and laugh, that you're somehow failing at therapy.
Yeah.
So you forget to talk about shit that matters because you're too busy going, hey, here's a joke I can make.
John, there's only a duck in that joke when he takes acid.
So naturally, I've been in therapy for 3 years and don't see myself getting out of it anytime soon.
I have a friend that listens to Elvis Costello, so I'm still in therapy.
Wow.
Sorry, Tuffley.
No, you're fine.
I own one Elvis Costello album, and it's a greatest hits.
Oh, that's one more than you should.
I will argue that the song "Pump It Up" fucking rocks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Rob,
I will agree with you. Yes, it does.
The bass line's stolen from a Ricky Nelson song, but yeah, sure.
I don't care.
I know.
And the knack stolen from
25 years,
Elvis
30 years.
Costello.
But you know what?
Well, it's 30 years ago today that Among the Living came out from Anthrax. I know that.
It's still better than the Escape Club, so there is that.
It is better than the Escape Club.
Wild Wild West.
Stubbing your toe in
Not
the
saying
dark
much.
is better than the Escape Club. So
God, I forgot about the Escape Club.
Like living in the 80s, headed to the 90s, living in the Wild Wild West.
Yes.
Look what you've done. Now he's going to go find Escape Club.
Sued
Oh
them
my God.
for ripping off Pump It Up. They had to pay royalties for that.
Oh,
I'd forgotten about the Escape Club.
see,
Now I have that stuck in my head. God damn it.
just when you get to Wild Wild West, then just immediately go to Cool Modi and you'll be fine.
It's that song. It's that song. Thanks.
So my favorite homeless person in Chicago was the
This is a hell of an opening. Please continue.
Did he think you were Frank Black too?
No, this guy basically, instead of asking for change, he holds a sign up, says, "Give me money and I'll sing you a Biz Markie song." And so basically he stood outside this like music venue and kept singing, you got what I need, like almost pitch perfect. And
Nice.
it was great. And I came back the next night. He was doing a different song. And I said, hey, you got any old dirty bastard? He goes, no, just Bismarcky. I said, I'd give you $1 if you had any old dirty bastard. And he goes, you son of a bitch. I said, I'm going to give you $1 anyway. So there you go.
All he had to do was know the hook from "Got Your Money." That's
What
it.
is the fact? No, man.
So that must have been the homeless guy that
He gets around.
The owner of the Jaguars says has the most mojo than anyone here in Jacksonville. It must be that guy. That's one of the things. The owner of the Jaguars said that homeless people in Chicago have more mojo than the people of Jacksonville.
Well,
is that Tony Khan that owns the Jaguars?
Shad Khan, yeah.
No, Shad Khan.
Oh, so it's his dad. Okay, I couldn't remember. I couldn't remember which Khan owns the Jaguars. I know that.
And it's just like really.
If Shaka Khan owned them, I'd be really interested. But other than that,
so that homeless guy's got the mojo of all of Jacksonville. Rob, that guy there. Yeah.
Gotta watch out. You'll wind up injected with a poison.
So Rob, the next time you see that man, just say, Shad Khan's got some cash for you.
No,
See, I was going to say, if you
see, I don't know if you know this, but I am told that I'm not allowed by general nature to say sup, much less talk to homeless people. You know, so because I'm generally one of those people that gives them money if I think they're straight up and they're not fucking, you know.
Yeah.
Like there's one guy I gave money this weekend because he held a sign that says, "Hey man, I'm holding a sign." All right, you get a quarter, right?
Absolutely, that's awesome.
Yeah,
you get paid.
I fucking hate the cutesy signs, but that again, you know, I live somewhere where people are constantly holding signs saying like, you know, you need weed or whatever, and it's just
Chicago has that.
All right,
need weed is boring. Family was kidnapped. Need money for karate lessons. That's interesting.
Yeah. All right.
Absolutely.
So what I did when I travel is I carry Sharpies. I'm like, here you go. You need a new Sharpie pen. I want to know where they buy them. I mean, there was one chick I saw this sign. I mean, she must have used 5 Sharpie pens to get it so black and dark. It's like, you know, you just spent $10 in Sharpies, right? Unless you stole them.
Well, Rox, I mean, what you're telling me is that you have never worked a retail job where you had to write on shit with Sharpies, because I haven't had that kind of a job in a while. And I've got, even left over from that, I've got 2 Sharpies on my desk right now. I mean, always in your pocket. Always in your pocket.
I've got
Sharpies from work because I would take September, I would steal Sharpies and notepads.
I don't think I bought a Post-it note since the 90s.
Yeah, when I used to work in shipping, if I didn't have like 12 Sharpies in my pocket, then I don't even know what kind of day it was.
Yeah. The new thing.
Everyone has Sharpies they never remember paying for.
Behold!
Old school.
The deluxe.
We got the fat Sharpie.
I like the fact we also all have them like within.
I knew I had one within reach. I can also see one that I can't reach. That counts.
All right. So these
Sharpie roll call.
The 70s. These are deluxe Sanfords. And Rob, remember the smell?
Yes. Oh my God. Yeah. I think ours is still kind of rancid.
Also, those are the good fumes.
Metal cap kit.
Oh, yeah.
Those are the good fumes.
There was a reason to watch the video version.
Those are the good fumes.
Sharpies.
Yeah.
If you're listening on video, you missed all the Sharpies.
Sharpies.
Oh, hot Sharpie action.
And it makes that squeaky noise too.
Yeah, I was at Dragcon and somebody came up to Peter Capaldi after his panel and said, "Will you sign something?" Rox, you were there for this. And he said, "I don't have a Sharpie." And I pulled one out and gave him one. I said, "Use this one." He goes, "You carry a Sharpie with you?" And I said, "Yes, you can stab people with them." And he goes, "Good man." And then he signed a thing, and then because that was when you got your autograph.
He wasn't
That's
even
right.
the war doctor.
He's the
You have to drive
I'll
the
tell you what he
Falcon
is.
Jeep.
He's the fucking whiskey doctor, is what he fucking is.
Why
So-
he's rapidly becoming my favorite.
So, what do you think about the Hugh Grant rumors? I don't think it'll happen.
That'll
so
chase
They're
that.
ridiculous.
First of all,
is what
I do want to let John know that a certain person that he knows went to Cali and was talking about seeing Sylvester McCoy at a panel. And I put an answer to one of his posts. He said, "Isn't that John's good friend?"
I think the McCoy rumors of the Daily Mirror are running clickbait. Grant has said he has heard nothing from anybody about it.
Well, I think
Although,
I mean, he would say that, but
yeah, I was just gonna say my favorite Hugh Grant stuff is it's like Tom Cruise. When Hugh Grant isn't playing Hugh Grant, that's like my favorite Hugh Grant. Like if you go watch Cloud Atlas and they cast him in one of the roles as a cannibal chief in like a post-apocalyptic, timeline, and watching Hugh Grant in full cannibal gear licking blood off of a blade, I was like, I know why you took that role. Like, this is as far away from Four Weddings as I can fucking get.
and one of like 2 times in his entire fucking career he's been there. Like, I don't expect him to be able to sustain that for a season worth of episodes. He's just going to be Hugh Grant for most of the season.
Does this mean we get Pierce Brosnan as the master? Because that would be interesting. Yeah.
Can we have Timothy?
Only if he has the beard.
Yeah.
Only
Timothy-
if he has good. Yeah.
I will say that it is not as far fetched as people think it is, but I don't know how up the chain the rumor goes. That's the only thing I know. But
And didn't Timothy I'm trying to say Timothy Oliphant and not Timothy Dalton.
Timothy Dalton was
Timothy Dalton already played a Time Lord, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yes.
Spitting toward the camera. That was great.
He was the spitter.
Yes.
Yeah, and then there's all kinds of crazy, interesting rumors about that right now. So we'll just.
So Timothy Oliphant is the master. I would also take.
Oh fuck yeah!
On general principle.
Yeah.
But only if you give me Al Swearingen as the fucking Time Lord himself. So
beat me to it.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll see. It'll be interesting. I'm not opposed to.
I think they should give some of the old, bit part people that were like guests, like Alexi Sale should be in one.
Well, that's how they normally do companions.
I've got
the
it.
Companions are usually pulled from the guest actors.
How much Whitaker have we got left?
2 more.
How much Whitaker is enough?
So we got one. We have the Easter special, and then her 2-hour finale, which is technically 2. So basically 2 stories, and then she's done. And then maybe the 60. Who knows? Nobody knows.
I've solved it. I know. Miriam Margolyes as the doctor.
Yes.
But only.
Yes.
Can we have Will.i.am as the master?
If we get Francis De La Tour as the master, then.
Oh, good. Well played.
I want to go drinking with Francis De La Tour. That's a lifelong dream. That would be great.
No, it's Sony money they're playing with now. So they're gonna go. If they're going big, they have the Sony money now. So
Sony wants it big. They want the international distribution. You're not gonna have a TARDIS. It's gonna be fucking weird.
Which led to this weird conversation. Kim's had this thought that she has this kind of vision that she has of like Russell T Davies and Hideo Kojima talking. No. And my joke is Hideo Kojima's vision of Doctor Who begins with Norman Reedus.
Mm-hmm.
I think one person with an incoherent idea of how to tell a story is enough. You don't need 2.
Oh my God. What was it?
It's Norman Reedus in boxes. That's what that is.
I was listening to I found the Death Stranding soundtrack and I went, what is this? And I read the Wikipedia summary and I know less about the video game now than before I read the Wikipedia article.
Dude, I played it and I guarantee you I know less about it than the Wikipedia article told you. You're a FedEx guy in the apocalypse carrying a fetus in a box. I don't know what to tell you. but it's a waste of fucking time. Hideo Kojima is smoking freebase cocaine and selling it as video game plots.
But the music was great.
It's a walking simulator. What else?
It is a walking simulator with a fetus in a box.
Wait,
Hideo Kojima is high on his own supply and has been for 2 fucking decades.
I was just trying to get to the Conan O'Brien appearance, and then that was it. I was just trying to.
How
I know he's in there
Is he the
somewhere.
fetus? Oh my God, is he the
I'll
fetus?
never understand. It was less comprehensible than the second Boondock Saints.
Oh,
You know, you've got. You're
Oh,
sitting,
that was
Wow.
bad.
wow.
You know, I just want to say, Doc, welcome back.
Happy to be here. I've missed you fuckers.
You might want to recalibrate your aim then a little bit next time.
Yeah. Use a steadying
You
hand.
missed us.
Yeah.
I'm sure it wasn't for lack of trying.
And I'm not that small a target, so
Me neither. Your scope must be shit. Ah. Oh my God.
We've
Oh,
been here for 5 hours. You want to do introductions now?
I mean, we got Doc. We might as well. We might as well. Why not? We almost have a quorum.
Squirrely fuckers I miss. Where's that shithead?
Hey, there's
Yeah.
more people here than at our panels.
I know.
Oh,
he's on Twitch these days.
Oh.
Yeah, and sometimes he's on the gaming platform. Oh wait.
Is that what they call it in Ireland?
Yep, that's what I've heard. I said, stop being on Twitch, you'll go blind. But no one listens. Okay, all right,
Yeah,
fine.
John,
Hmm?
Don Cornelius called. He wants a setback.
that's an amazing trick if he can call anyone.
Yeah, no shit.
Hey, he faked his death, man.
Him and Jim Morrison and Elvis. They're
I convinced the guy the other
Fighting
day.
crime.
Don Cornelius is alive.
oh God. All right. So we'll do introductions. I'm just making a note of where they fall, and we'll do them starting.
By the way,
Now.
most likely.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to another edition of Weekend Justice. It's the Weekend Justice podcast here on needcoffee.com, the #1 audio internet train wreck. We're located here in the Hall of Weekend Justice, and I will endeavor to introduce those with me with going from my right to your left. We have Rob is with us. Hi, Rob.
Hi.
Hi. We have Tuffley is here too. Hi, Tuffley.
Hello.
Hello. JJ also appears to be with us. Hello, JJ.
Howdy, 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 howdy.
Yep. And Rox of Spaz House is here. Hi, Rox. Hi, Rox.
Hey, I was
Hey.
hoping.
Oh, there you are.
somebody- Never mind.
What? What's happening?
You were
Hey.
watching.
Who's your mind?
I was lip syncing you during
Oh,
this whole entire
That sounds
time.
rude.
So basically, Rox was just having her Wedge. Look what I can do. Look what I can do. Moment.
Wow,
so
the
Rox-
Rox-
I just
Rox-
love you.
Rox
the
is
Rox
slipping off
puppet
the
is still
cosmos.
lifelike.
We have and Doc
No one
Ezra
can
has
see this, right?
stepped away from the typewriter writing these episodes to join us. Hi, Doc.
Hi.
Hi.
I think he's
And,
giving us notes at the end, I think.
Yeah, I know. I'm waiting for it. I'm dreading it. And John from the Unique Geek is here. Hi, John.
There's nothing moderate about rock.
Oh, that's right. Doc writes this stuff. I totally
I do, and
forgot.
I have
That's
to
why he's got
apologize. I'm really sorry for the past 3 years.
But I gave you a book worth of notes.
You did. It's fair.
Brand
but-
new for 2022. We're still not recording this.
The soundboard has expanded. It has gained sentience.
Wow. It'll
At
all
some
be in a
point,
zine.
it will just be John and a soundboard, and the rest of us can fuck off on a Tuesday night and do what we want to do.
Right.
Sadly, this was it.
So what we should do
Is that what
is
they're putting on
to
your
make
cheek?
things
Of
so
all the things you could have
incoherent,
done, Tuffley, you chose to be here.
I just
could
wanna
we?
say,
All right, here's an experiment. Hold on.
Okay. Oh God.
Okay, experiment.
You need
We
to
take-
stop driving. That too. I had to ask that last week. Anyway.
Oh God.
Could somebody put one of the podcasts into a translator so we can just get text and we can just print it out and sell it? It'll be so incoherent. People will be like, what is this?
Rocks,
What is that? At one point,
Rocks, we're not the KLF, okay?
We could get the AI to write the episode.
We need to do
If you
that.
weren't such a negative person, Rob.
Yeah, Rob, you
Hey,
ruin
you vote
everything.
We could get the AI to write episodes.
Yeah.
Oh my
Yeah.
God. Oh, if we
I
fed
don't want
some
to
of
be the
these into
KLF.
AI.
I want to be the justified ancients. That's my goal.
Well, if you ever want to bring the whole podcast to a close, you do that, and then we all switch characters, and we get so pissed off at how we see that how each other actually sees us, and then it all ends.
Oh, I call dibs on WEJ.
Well, I just want to say, in regards
I want to see.
God help you.
Rob is best suited to be me, fairly.
See, this is how our podcast would look. Just a wall of
Wow.
Hey, look. Oh,
6-point
wait.
font that nobody can read or
ironic.
understand. That sounds like
That's
us.
Exactly.
right.
That
That's
sounds
also how it looks in Aramaic. So
That's Kim's
you know
last
what?
game review.
And then we could blow it up and make it into wheat paste.
like,
You know,
eat the
and
wheat
just put it
paste.
like, yeah, we can wheat paste.
I like the
our-
blowing it
our
up idea. I'm
podcast.
not sure about the paste.
Explosion.
Hey, I'm putting this out there so Banksy will hear this and give me a proceeds from this really cool idea.
It shreds itself if anybody buys
The
it.
podcast will shred
There you
itself as you listen to it.
That's right. Yes.
this
Can we just
podcast
put
will
this out as-
self-destruct.
Can we just put this podcast out as an NFT? I hear a lot of things about those things.
All right.
They're
Yes, here we
popular,
go. Here's the NFT for today.
Don't
I'll take
screenshot
dibs
that.
on
Don't
this.
don't
This is
absolutely
it.
do not screenshot
Do
that.
not right
and,
click
like,
under
copy
any
that around.
circumstances.
All right. Screenshot this. This is
No
my
funging.
mediation sketches. Well,
Oh,
I'm
hold on.
We
mediating.
still have a
You know
t-shirt
what
shop.
I'm going to do, Rocks?
I
I'm gonna
want a
say- I'm gonna
t-shirt that
say
says
to you,
no
Who is-
funging.
Rocks,
No
thank
funging.
you.
Who is
Fungible. There you
That's
go.
okay. We got
Can you, can,
we got a watermark.
can you
Don't worry about it.
can you explain the,
Rocks, I'm
Can
going
you
to
explain-
give you my notebooks that I have before every radio show. I make notes for the show. You may be the
Yeah.
only person that understands them. Or
I feel like-
toughly.
yeah.
Well, do you both have the looks like stoned Eskimo in both of your notebooks?
Pretty much.
Oh yeah, I do. Right here.
That's
That's like
how you
right,
know-
yes.
Is that how you know what cipher to use? What?
That's right.
Yeah.
Oh,
Mysteriously,
you
all
know-
in everyone's notebooks.
I
use
found
the-
Yeah,
Stoned
like the other day
Eskimo.
was Beware
Stoned
the Ides of
Eskimo.
March. I had that.
Yeah.
Sounds
Let's
like
see, what else do I have? Knuckles. Knuckles.
Really?
There you go.
Nice day. What?
looked like a kiwi. What?
What?
Knuckles the
There you go.
kiwi? Oh, that's a pear. Okay.
It's a pair. Pair of
Nice.
Knuckles.
This is going to be great as a podcast.
Tax the poor. I don't know where I. There you go. Okay, kids.
What did
It's
you say?
story time for the insane.
Hold on, let's see what's in the mail crate.
This will be like that thing from Seven, you know.
Oh yeah, you're showing us.
I fully expect somebody will dissect your notebooks at some point as part of a criminal investigation.
No,
Right.
It's not a bullet. It's not a bullet journal. It's more like a murder spree journal. It's more like a.
We're saving the footage for the
Bullet
Netflix
journal?
documentary.
I misunderstood the assignment. I'm sorry.
That's all right. They're nuns. They'll pass you anyway.
Right.
You're
Let's
dealing with a
see.
fucking international cult of weirdos.
And that's just on this call.
Right.
Well, hey, Rox, you're the only
Yes.
person here that'll care
We're
about this.
strictly national. We are not
Yeah.
international at this
The
point.
Yeah, we haven't got international. Nobody international has joined.
So
We're
Rox, the
interstate.
international elk,
Which means the
headquarters-
FBI will be involved.
The elk what?
The
Hold
interna-
on. Shh.
so the
Let me hold on. Wait a minute. I did this to two men. Psst, psst. Go
Really?
ahead, Rob.
So the international.
I did a Judge Judy on somebody.
the
If I knew it was going to be
international
a
elk,
party.
the international elk headquarters is in Chicago, right?
Yeah.
It's in this like crazy old building that has been there since like 1922.
Yeah.
And it takes up 2 city blocks, and it's only open a half day a year when they have their meeting, they have their executive body like votes in there and has like a social hour where they drink and vote, and then that's it. It's closed for the rest of the year.
What organization are you talking about?
The Elks, like the Elk Lodge, like the fucking.
My brother's an elk. Yeah, I'll ask him about it. If he can give me the secret handshake and we can go and everything.
Yes.
But yeah, 2 arguing men, if you do this, pss, pss, they'll stop.
You understand Scott will love this.
What?
Nothing.
I want a zine about Rox and Rob being led into secret society meetings and just crashing them.
And going, because it's because we're not in the same room and she doesn't have the cat spray. the little thing you spray your cats with when they do wrong.
I hate that at panels.
I love the fact that last year when I went to Dragon Con,
that's what Lee did the whole time and no one knew.
That someone on staff at Dragon Con last year said, well, we're all sleeping a little easier that one of you's not there this year. Like, what? We're not throwing chairs off the side of buildings.
I know. What do you? Yeah.
It's like the Wonder Twins, or Fenris from Marvel. It's like you have to have both of you to exhibit your full powers.
No, last year was great because people that had known us for 15 years kept confusing Tuffley and I. It was hilarious.
And they kept asking him if he was Frank Black. It was weird as fuck.
I know.
They just kept saying, like, somebody came up to Tuffley and it's like, oh, well, are you doing this Doctor Who panel? I'm like, no, I'm on that one. Oh, well, you're on. Like, no, Tuffley's on that one. Like, they couldn't think. Yeah, it's pretty funny.
I gotta say, I can't quite understand the confusion.
I do not either, which is why it's
could
funny.
have replaced John Cusack in High Fidelity. I don't understand.
No, which is why it's so funny because it's like we're so obviously, But yeah. I mean, you'd think if you put us on panels for 20 years, you'd know. But anyway.
Wait a minute. So you're saying Lee is the one who confused the two of you?
No. It hasn't gotten
in fairness, it took us multiple years to convince me I was really Doc.
Yes.
He knows.
But that was on purpose.
I am the third Doctor.
Yes.
That's fair.
Congratulations.
All right, kids.
And you are the War Doctor and the Whiskey Doctor.
I have dysfunctional people to deal with tomorrow.
As opposed to what you're doing now?
I thought you were doing that now.
Oh, no. This is therapy.
Oh
God.
Dysfunctional people.
No, okay. So, one of the things I'm watching is Joe versus Carol. The Tiger King thing.
Yeah. Oh Jesus!
So, Rocks. Come on. Where's
Rob?
Where's the real Rocks, and what have you done?
Rob, these are the people who show up at small claims.
I know.
Just saying.
He's in Florida.
So
bear that in mind.
Well,
totally. So here's the thing: is we're at the pinnacle of, good storytelling off of like HBO. All the streaming services all have great shows. So what does Peacock do? They go to the lowest common denominator of having two people of Walmart. Really, that show. That's really what it is. And it's like gold. It's just like, are there people like that? Yes, absolutely. There are.
This is why it should be a TV show. I can go outside and see those people.
The cast,
Kate McKinnon and John Cameron Mitchell.
The cast, the thing is the cast is really good.
Yeah.
I mean, okay, you watch the documentary and then you can like, oh yeah, that wasn't in it and this and that. But he is really spot on. And for a guy to do these are not pretty people. I mean, that as anybody that will know, anybody that wins an Oscar, Kathy Bates or something, it's doing those oddball characters.
Mhm.
Those are the things that everyone was like, oh yeah, that's really good. And I'll tell you, that guy is really spot on doing Joe Exotic.
Well, you know who it is? It's
Mhm.
the original Hedwig.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah. That's
So
why I was
I'm
intrigued. I was like, okay, if he signed on board with this with Kate McKinnon, I'm gonna have to watch this at some
Yeah,
point.
I never
And
watched Tiger
at
King.
all.
I have a question.
she's got the Carol thing down really well.
Yeah, Doc, what's your
You know.
question?
It's the original Hedwig. Help me out. Didn't he have a previous credit in the? Oh shit! Never mind. I'm gonna let it
he's
go.
in that musical.
I'm trying to remember who. There's something about the original Hedwig that I'm trying to connect him to another project.
I mean, he also directed the movie Short Bus.
Yep.
Maybe that's what I'm thinking.
Mm.
Never mind. Carry on.
So-
I met him once when he was drunk off his ass. He's a very friendly fellow.
Oh,
You sure it wasn't
There you go.
Rob? I mean, I hear he gets confused with a lot of people.
He's
He
also very friendly when he's drunk.
All of the people Rob isn't.
he tripped and accidentally caught himself on my ex's breasts. So
Fascinating.
Wait a minute.
accidentally.
well, I mean, he's real
Allegedly.
gay. It was an accident. He's real gay.
Okay.
Yeah.
The original Hedwig. I'm dating myself, but fuck it. Wasn't he
Hey,
in Band of
If
the
you
Hand?
can't love yourself,
Yes.
who else is going to love
I
you?
just looked. Yes, you're right.
Is that who I'm remembering? He's the guy
Yes.
from Band of the Hand.
Yes, you're correct.
Okay, thank you. I needed that validation of my obscure 80s movie trivia.
According to IMDb, he's in Sandman, but it doesn't say as who. Dun dun dun.
Okay.
Dun, dun. So I am watching that. And
John Cameron Mitchell, is that it?
Yeah.
what?
John
John
Cameron
Cameron
Mitchell is
Yeah.
his name.
Yes. Mm.
Yeah, he was. He
So
was
I
Band
like
of-
it. It's entertaining. It's good.
Well, looking at images from Band of the Hand, there is no fucking way I have not seen this movie, and I don't remember it.
Yeah, I saw it,
It's
but
exactly the kind of movie I would have watched as a kid.
It's not super memorable. I'm not gonna lie, but I have seen it a couple of times. It's 80s action cheese-tastic bullshit, but yeah.
I mean, James Remar and Lawrence Fishburne, and it's got some people in it. But yeah,
It does.
Yeah. But it was the 80s.
It was the 80s.
yeah, he was still Larry at that point.
yeah.
They were all
Yeah.
cheaper then.
Everybody was cheaper.
Hey, at that point, he still would have been a security guard too.
Yeah.
It's fair.
So, okay. Really quick recommendation, Nightmare
Yeah.
Alley.
New or old?
Good.
Okay, so
Oh, is it too soon?
I
Sorry.
watched the new one,
The new
and
what?
then I watched the Tyrone Power one,
Nightmare Alley.
Nightmare Alley, and I'm almost done with the book.
Oh,
All within a month. I'm like,
trifecta.
how is it? No. I'm like, how is it I didn't know about this?
Yeah,
I was just like, it's just like, wow.
I
I mean,
think- I
'cause
think
the
we're
book was
getting-
written in the 38 or like in the 40s or so.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And the Tyrone Power book or movie came out way at, like directly in the 40s and stuff.
Yeah.
And to me that had it's just like, whoa, the whole thing blew my mind on that because the writer, William Lindsay Gresham, he didn't really write a lot, but he knew the whole world of carnies and stuff. And
Yeah, how did
what
you
he
not know
would-
this?
don't know. Because one of the problems is the book has been out of print. So it's really hard to get like what would be a first edition. And there's one company, I went to my bookstore and they're like, all we have are the new ones. I'm like, that's okay. I need to read this book. I need to read this book.
Did you
yeah.
Rox, if you get a chance, you wrote a book on Houdini.
Yeah.
Which I've only
you know what? Yeah. I may have read that when I was a kid.
Yeah, I think that's the first book on Houdini I read.
So I did read that, and it was really good because that one actually talked about some of the techniques and the mechanical issues of some of the, effects that Houdini did, of like how the milk can worked, that it was a double layer and it would rotate and stuff. So I believe I read that one when I was a kid. And that would be around the time that was, his wife was that Joy Gresham who went on to marry C.S. Lewis when they divorced. That I did not know. So she too was a writer. But this is a book that really, really, I'm just like amazed on how much, he covered about Cardi life and stuff, and especially the con. It's really, really good. So
she's amazed how much of it he got right, because she's sitting there taking notes.
I'm like, wow, oh my god, I'm reading it, I'm like, oh, that's, she set him up for Pat, holy crap. And at the end it's just like, yeah, the gypsy, switching out money and stuff like that. So
did my edible just kick in?
Yeah.
No, she went full Max Headroom.
Oh, okay.
I went full nuts. Yeah. So, and I can see where Del Toro really, because he loves the weirdness. So I can see where he latched onto this. And I did watch the HBO behind the scenes, and the scenes at the Carney. He actually set up in a field this carnival. So they can walk around it without resetting, scenes up and stuff. So there's a lot to that film.
I want to catch, and they're putting it in theaters, a run of the Nightmare on Elm Alley in black and white.
Yeah, it's on HBO and it's
yeah. No, I want to go to a theater for that.
Yeah, you need to see it in the theater because it's really good for that.
Yeah, but it's really good.
Yeah.
But
the way they were talking.
Oh, go ahead.
The way they were talking about how they had lit the film so that it would work, because Del Toro wanted to have it work in both black and white and color.
Mm-hmm.
So the costumes and the sets and the lighting was designed so that it could work both ways.
Yep.
Which is pretty cool. Because that's a lot of work to try to have that work.
Yeah.
Both black and white and in color.
Yeah, I wonder if he took cues from like something like the Munsters or something, where, back in the day, or after, I think, the Cabinet of Dr. Caligari, where they painted everything in black and white and grays, that they were like, no, that really doesn't work. So they started painting everything in a brighter color, because if you look at color stills of like the Munsters, to get that effect of a universal picture, it came across, the grays and the blacks in the Munsters show actually came out really well. If you look at it now, when you're shooting it in black and white and stuff. So, and I can see where that would do really well, because if you watch the Del Toro one, I really suggest watching the Tyrone Power one as well, because that has a lot of, you're talking, so the book came out in the 30s, 40s, and Power, so basically the movie came out shortly thereafter. So the style and stuff is pretty much current in that film. They do change up the end in the Power one, but it's still worth watching for that. So,
Well, Del Toro went back to the original book. He wasn't remaking the first film, right?
Right. No, he went to the book.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So anyway, so that's what I got.
Cool. Thanks, Rox.
Bye.
Rocks.
Leave studio.
And the
Oh,
cue.
God. So what else is anybody watching? I am 4 episodes into Our Flag Means Death.
Oh, that is fantastic.
I am watching it as well.
Yes.
I think I'm on 3rd episode.
Is that the pirate thing by YTD?
Taka, yeah.
Yeah, he's an executive producer and he directed the first one and he's Blackbeard and he's
I was gonna say
fucking
spoilers,
brilliant.
he's Blackbeard.
Yeah. That's known. It's known.
Well,
So
no,
how,
I'm
how does
I'm
it
in the
compare to the Malkovich pirate show?
Oh, I never watched
God, I
what was it,
remember
Black
that.
Sails?
Yes.
No, wasn't
Was
Black
that
Sails,
supposed to be
was it?
funny?
Wasn't
No,
it?
it wasn't
no,
Black
not supposed
Sails.
to be funny.
No.
Oh, this is funny.
Wait, are you talking about the John Malkovich, or are you talking about
Crossbones.
Crossbones?
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Not Black Sail. Black Sails was a serious.
Black Sails was the Stars thing, was the Michael Bay thing.
It was Game of Thrones light.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
was the other thing.
Gotcha. Yeah, I don't know. I didn't watch Crossbones.
All seasons of Black Sails are still better than the 8th season of Game of Thrones. So I mean, it kind of works out at the end.
Well,
You know, you can avoid being mad at the 8th season of Game of Thrones by having just never seen an episode.
That is true. That is a way to avoid that.
If I could turn back
I was about
time.
to say, you could avoid being annoyed by anything about Game of Thrones by just reading more Glenn Cook. So
Also true.
Although I will say there are some lovely moments thanks to the cast in Game of Thrones, and Peter Dinklage is fucking amazing. So
the best things about Game of Thrones certainly had nothing to do with the author. So
Or the people writing this TV show.
pretty much.
Which turned out to be 2 separate things. I do like the
Walter
cameos
White Company
though.
TV show. I'm not fucking bitter at all.
Yeah. Although I do like the cameos in Our Flag Means Death. The cameos are really nice.
I know that
Yeah.
Leslie Jones was on there, and
Yes.
they're really good.
Yes.
Yes, she's amazing as you would expect. So yeah, it's 4 episodes in. It's a ton of fun, and
How many is it
it's
supposed to be? It's supposed to be 6 or
10,
8.
I think, isn't it?
Okay.
8 or 10? I don't know.
Yeah.
I do know. I was looking because Taika looks so badass as Blackbeard. I was like, who did the costumes? It's the same person who did Loki. So
Okay.
Nice.
yeah. So
There are 10 episodes this season.
Okay.
Ah,
10.
thank you.
Okay, good.
and when is Moon Knight next week? When is that?
The
It's like the end of the month.
next Wednesday.
Next
Yeah.
week.
Okay.
And
So-
I've already kind of, for me, I've already hit kind of a media blackout. I'm like, okay, you've hooked me. I want to see it. Stop showing me opening scenes and all of the shit
Yeah,
that they're
I
putting out.
I know.
No more
I
intelligence.
watch official teasers and official trailers, and that's it. I don't watch
But
anything else.
but don't you want all the breakdowns of all the Easter eggs and what things might
No.
mean?
Nope.
No.
I mean, and I'll admit, my bar for a Moon Knight series is pretty low. And I'm saying this as someone who read Moon Knight,
Yep.
who read the West Coast Avengers, has read the Ellis run. You know, I've been reading Moon Knight for a long time.
Mhm.
All I want from this series is to fucking explain to me what the fuck Moon Knight is. I love him, but his powers have never been clear. Sometimes he's crazier than others. Just give me a template and let me by the end of it go, I get Moon Knight.
I don't
That's
think
part
you're
why
gonna
it's
get
great.
that. I really don't.
Yeah.
I
I
even
think
have-
he's fucking crazy, and the end. Like that's the only piece of information you're walking away with.
I will say the current Moon Knight series, I told Doc this, is actually quite a bit of fun, and they don't really explain anything.
I was about to say the last bit of Moon Knight I actually read involved him hallucinating the presence of Wolverine, Spider-Man, and Captain America as his moral guidance. None of them were actually in the fucking room with him. He was just imagining they were there.
Oh, that's Marvel editors all the time.
Well, that's fair. But still, like, I don't think the TV show is going to make it any more coherent than any of the written runs of Moon Knight have been over the past 2 decades. Which is to say, he's batshit crazy, and you will end the series not knowing how much of that was real and how much of that was hallucination. But I am absolutely 100% here for that.
I'll be real honest. My experience with Moon Knight is the pinball game, and I figured out the batshit crazy part from that. So
he is the best of the Pinball FX3 Marvel tables.
Yes, good lord, yes, that's fun.
And you know, and I perfectly am willing to accept that it'll still be fucked up and crazy at the end. My thing is though, is you look at what the Marvel films have been the stories they've managed to fix, like Civil War or Spider-Man revealing his identity to the world. And if you can tell these stories in a way that are sort of coherent and make sense, and at the end of the day are fixed, maybe you can give me a Moon Knight that I almost understand. Maybe.
And honestly, my hope is, and I think it's probably not gonna pan out this way, but when they brought all the Netflix Marvel shit over to Disney Plus, they had to add like parental controls to Disney Plus that didn't exist before. I really wish they would capitalize on that for Moon Knight. I need a TVMA Moon Knight.
They've said it's at least going to be violent it's going to be their most violent series so far.
Yeah, and I will say
I don't need it to be Punisher. Like Jesus Christ, I have to look away from that show on a regular basis. But Moon Knight, I need to be a little more extreme than anything they've done on Disney.
So here's a question: are they porting Legion over?
Not yet. Not
as
far.
I imagine that's if they're doing that. I imagine that's coming. Or they brought Legion over from.
Yeah, because they haven't brought Legion over. They haven't brought.
They haven't brought any of the Fox stuff over, have they?
They haven't brought Gifted over. Yeah.
Is it Fox? What was it? Didn't they have Mutant X or something? Or who was that?
Fox had Gifted.
No, but I mean the old. Let's
old
not
Fox,
do the X-Men. I thought who did Mutant X?
Gifted.
They did.
Yeah.
I don't. Okay. I think they did Generation X as well.
Unless you're talking about Legion. They did Legion on Fox.
Yeah, FX did Legion.
They did an older thing too.
They did the Gifted. They did the weird.
Was it the A-Team?
Well, I know back in the 90s they did Generation X.
Yeah, they did.
So that means in the early 2000s.
Gifted was what 20? That's only been a few years ago, right?
Yeah, Gifted wasn't that long ago.
But Mutant X was back in like 2000, 2001 or something.
Oh, that's right. Mutant X was not Fox. That was I remember
Tribune?
now. That was Tribune. That was Marvel and Tribune trying to do something X-Men without actually having the X-Men license, which they had given to Fox.
I don't even remember that show.
It ran 3 fucking years, dude. There's a lot of it.
You mean Mutant X, right? That was
yes.
But it wasn't prime time though, was it? I thought it was like a syndicated show.
Syndicated, wasn't it?
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, it was syndicated.
Right. Yeah.
It was in that syndicated period, like with the Star Treks and Babylon 5 and
like
that whole action.
Alvia Rod like first run syndicated thing.
Gene Roddenberry's fill in the blank show.
Well done, H. So my thing is this: I was having seen What If and the Zombies episode of What If. I was actually amazed at what they got away with on the Zombies episode of What If. Yeah. Like, I was like, Jesus Christ, this is on Disney Plus? Awesome. And that was before any parental controls.
Well, and
There's an 8-year-old in my extended life that is currently like having a really hard time dealing with the Stephen Strange episode of What If. Like,
That
that
wasn't graphic. That was just really, really dark.
I was about to say she's just trying to figure out why it went so bad that he kept trying to save his girlfriend and couldn't. Like, it's intense. It's a whole thing.
And with Moonlight, since they have that sort of thing in, especially since the Ellis run of him never getting blood on himself, they can have a pretty violent show without really having like blood, you know?
Well, I mean, they managed that with Daredevil pretty well. On the Netflix.
Daredevil wasn't that graphic.
No, well, except for the fact he was fucked up all the time.
I was about to say, he gets the shit kicked out of him on a reg, but it wasn't like Punisher where he's like beating a dude half to death with a weight plate in the gym, you know?
And of all of those shows, I have to admit, Punisher is the only one I didn't finish because it was just so. It's not that it was too violent. The character was so dark that I as I said, I've been in therapy for a couple of years now. I might be able to handle it now.
Was amazing.
Yeah,
he was, and I'll be honest. Like season 2, as a dude who watches a lot of police procedural shit, seeing the guy who was like the laid back, easygoing Cajun cop boyfriend of a Criminal Minds character turn into the psycho pilgrim was really difficult. Really difficult.
Wow.
Kind of on the verge of, for those of you who have watched Evil, seeing the dude that was Finch on Person of Interest turn into like a servant of Satan was not something I was prepared for.
But he's really good at it. I mean,
he's really fucking good at it. But
that's like channeling the old Lost energy. That's wow.
Yeah.
Well, my hope is that I know that basically Daredevil is going to show up in Echo, is what I have heard. And then from there, you could have a new Daredevil show. But I have heard they're talking about rebooting it, which I hope they don't do. But I mean, if they reboot it with the same cast, I'm not sure.
Fine reboot, right?
They would technically do like a Doctor Who thing where they basically pull the stuff that forward that they want and not worry about the baggage, and then maybe bring back the baggage.
Well, good.
Part of it is for contractual reasons they have to call it a reboot when they bring it back,
or at least a variant.
Yeah.
There's always going to be the Marvel
JJ's
television
tying it all in.
complication.
Yeah.
There's always going to be the complication of the Marvel television thing.
Well, we already brought back the villain that I wanted, so I'm good. If I had to have one thing, I got the one thing that I wanted. Now I want more because I'm a greedy bastard, but I did get my priority. So
you got D'Onofrio's Kingpin, right?
Yes.
But wasn't it worth it for D'Onofrio's Disney World vacation pictures on Twitter?
I loved was the people who were basically like complaining that they put him in a Hawaiian shirt, to which D'Onofrio basically posted the pictures from the comic where he was in that exact Hawaiian shirt. It's like, what are you fucking talking about? Here's what we were going for. I wanted this. It's from this comic.
Before we get too far away from
I haven't participated in one of these since you guys moved to this platform, but H just threw a comment in that I'm still trying to wrap my head around.
Yeah.
4 roommates share a character. That's Moon Knight. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Imagine a superhero MMO in which a group of 4 roommates share a character. That's Moon Knight.
Well,
now here's what I want to ask though: the pinball.
Sims.
I did not play the pinball game. Did you get to have like a table that was like, oh, this is the Mark table, and then you did something, and then it would switch completely around and be the Steven table? Because
no, what you got was a table in which Khonshu fucked with you no matter which table you were on, and talked shit about you and like taunted you at your ineffectiveness at every turn. And then you randomly got jumped by supervillains like Bushmaster and Nightmare, and I'm trying to think of the others.
I Was
It
Craven in
sounds
that
like
one?
it was a
Craven's in the
precursor
table,
to the
isn't
Avengers
Craven was a
story
Spider-Man.
arc.
too.
he? Okay, well, I know that, but yeah.
Well, and then the thing about Moon Knight is that you throw in all of that stuff, and then you've also got the his connection to the power or to the moon. So, one day a month he's stronger than he is any other day of the month, and because his strength is tied to the waxing and waning moon. So like on the new moon he's basically just a dude, but on the full moon he's like the fucking Hulk. And it's just like you've got that weirdness to begin with, and then you add the multiple personalities, and then you add the fact that he's he could sell a book on his costume alone. He's like Ghost Rider, and the fact that no matter what stupid shit they put him in, he looks good.
There's that. Yes.
Yeah, I realized back in the Danny Ketch era of Ghost Rider that I had been buying that book for almost 2 years, and realized that is the only book I'd ever bought just for the art, because at 2 years I was like, there isn't shit that's happened. Why have I been buying this book all this time? Oh, he looks
badass.
Yes. Well, my favorite Ghost Rider moment in the new Avengers comic is Echo's in that, and basically Robbie, it's the Robbie Ghost Rider, turns into Ghost Rider while talking to Echo and is trying to say something encouraging to her, and she goes, okay, so I can't read your lips if you don't have any, but I kind of get the gist of what you're saying.
Honestly, the Robbie Ghost Rider is what made season 4 of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. tolerable.
Yeah. Originally, they were going to spin that off, and then they yanked it.
Yep.
Hey.
And they were and the weird thing is, even like as late as like a couple of years ago, Hulu was going to still do that after he had been in like Terminator, and then Terminator flopped, and they pulled back from that.
Yeah. Well,
I'm holding out hope that now that they've all been consolidated under the House of Mouse, that we might actually get some Ghost Rider goodness. But yeah, we'll see.
Well, it's got to happen sooner or later. I mean,
well, they've already got Blade.
Sun's TV show desperately needs to happen now that we have a new Blade.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah. So I what was it? I actually I tweet to Kevin Feige. Awesome. I know he listens to this. So I said, I reminded him that for Armor Wars, which is still a thing that's coming, that they need to bring back the actor who was Deathlock in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Hell
because
yeah.
that would make total sense. Yeah. And the actor basically responded with like just these icons. Yes.
Wasn't he the same guy that played
J. August? Yes.
Yes.
Okay. He was Gunn.
Yeah. Basically, Deathlock will always have a warm spot in my heart, considering that was really the first thing on Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. that was like tapping into the bigger Marvel out there. When I saw on the armor,
deep comic nerdery.
Oh my God.
When you just mentioned Armor Wars, though, I just realized, thinking back to that storyline, that means we might get one of the stupidest characters in all of Marvel.
Please tell me which one this is, because we could have a whole podcast about this.
The list is long. I mean, yeah, you're not going to get past things like Rocket Racer and
US1,
Red 5, and some of these great characters. No, but
NFL Super Pro.
But I'm talking about somebody who's actually been an Avenger, and that would be Stingray.
Oh.
I want to see comic accurate Stingray armor.
Wow.
But why?
Because it would look ludicrous on land. That's why.
There's some things that you just want. Like I play Marvel Strike Force, and I do it mostly free. I actually throw them coin every once in a while because I feel so bad that it's like 10 games in one, and I feel like I'm cheating them. So I actually throw them money. But I would totally pay for Hellcow to be in that game, and I will not stop talking about it until it fucking happens.
if we're getting the Marvel's first family in Phase 4, I want fucking Mole Man.
Oh yeah.
Yes, absolutely.
Fuck Galactus. I don't need Mole Man. Give me Mole Man in the Fantastic Four. Fuck your cosmic bullshit.
I want him to be
digging tunnels under NYC who wears weird Roy Orbison glasses and is just a little fat dude in a green suit. Like, that's what I need.
I want them to go as deep into like the villains as they do. Like, how do we have Groot before we have Kraven? I mean, I know Kraven's coming.
I know
Kraven's
Sony's
Sony,
working
right?
on Kraven. Yep, Sony's working on Kraven. That's coming.
Because it's a lot easier to make Groot interesting than it is to make Kraven interesting.
You could make Kraven interesting. It's just they don't bother to do it very often.
No, you couldn't.
But interestingly, it's not that easy to make Vin Diesel interesting.
But
What
I'm
is it?
bummed.
Oh, hey.
You gave him one line and just told him to repeat it.
Kraven's Last Hunt was actually a really great story arc for Spider-Man.
That's a fair point. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It
So
was
it
the
can be
one
done.
interesting storyline Kraven ever had.
Yeah, I'm not saying there's a ton of them. I'm just saying it can be done.
Let's say that I'm running in my head through the like Spider-Man Rogues gallery, and I know Kraven is there. And every time I think of any other Spider-Man villain, I'm like, he's more interesting, and I push Kraven one more slot towards the back.
Yeah. Yep. That's why we haven't seen Kraven.
Exactly.
I want the accent. That's what I want. I want a big mustached man with an accent, and that's my needs are simple. But again, we've had Batroc before we've had Chameleon.
Reynolds, and I'll take it.
What's that?
If
Cast
you give me a
who?
ridiculous accent and a mustache, give me Burt Reynolds. Fuck the rest of them.
Hello, I am Burt Reynolds.
Oh my God. Yeah, we had Batroc. That's where you just go, okay.
I mean, not really. We had a dude that had Batroc's name.
He wore purple.
He kind of wore purple. He didn't do any savate. Fuck that guy. Like, he doesn't count.
But he did have a great fight scene.
He did have a great fight scene. At no point in which did he use French foot fighting, which is a criminal mistake. If you're going to do that and give him a fight scene, at least let him use the right martial art. Then those of us who are waiting for the deep nerdery can go, ha-ha. But no.
You know what it is? Doc, somebody's going to come along and pick that up and fix it, just like they fixed Hawkeye's wife with the Hawkeye series.
Fair. If you give me Batroc that knows savate, I have no complaints, and fair play for including an obscure character in a like one fucking fight scene in 20 movies. But I am unhappy with what they did to Batroc.
They brought him back.
It's war. I'm not fucking kidding.
They brought him back in one of the series. I can't remember which one right now.
It was Falcon Winter Soldier.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I need to spend more time there.
Yeah. You would really like Falcon Winter Soldier. It's good. It's good. I'll just say it's a fight scene. He's not in, but there's a great fight scene in there, which you're going to appreciate a lot, because I did. I was grinning because it was so cool.
And that was the thing with the other sort of cameos of some of these other villains. That's why Batroc got to me. Is they did such a good job with a lot of the other villains, like appropriately specking out their action sequences to map to their backgrounds, their character origins or whatever. And they just kind of tossed Batroc's background out the fucking window. And it bothered me. Not for nothing, but Savate is more than a little obscure, but still, like, it was only one scene. Just let the guy spend 2 weeks with a coach. He can fake it, and it would have been fine. But no, we did not get that. It made me sad.
Yeah. Well, there has been deep nerdery, though. I remember when Angar the Screamer showed up on Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., and I was like, holy shit.
I fucking love that shit. I'm not going to lie. When he showed up, I was watching that show with someone who does not in any respect possess the like deep comic nerdery, and I was like, that's fucking Angar the Screamer. And they're like, what the fuck are you talking about? I'm like, never mind. It's not important. But trust me, that's baller.
Oh, yeah. Well, that was the thing. Cosette will ask me, so in the comics, does such and so happen? I'll say, well, When I left off, it was like this. However, it's Marvel, so that's probably happened 5 or 6 times since then. It's probably happened 5 or 6 times since we started talking. I have no idea, but I could tell you where it was when I left.
Find the character, figure out who's writing it now, figure out how many people have been in between that. Yes, it's probably happened.
And I actually found the digital version of the original official handbook of the Marvel Universe to help me remember exactly where my information on many characters left off, because some of them I only saw there.
And I'll be honest, my go-to resource is the I'm gonna cop to some deep darkery here. The like early to mid 80s tabletop RPG based on Marvel.
Oh
yes, I had that.
The Gamer's Handbook to the Marvel Universe is even more expansive than the official handbook of the Marvel Universe, and received annual updates up through 1992, and I have all of them.
Nice.
So like Angar the Screamer is in there, as is the Aquarian. I have all of them.
That's deep. That's deep.
So my knowledge of the Marvel Universe is tabletop RPG exhaustive through 1992, and then it stops.
Mm-hmm.
It was funny because of course the pandemic, you don't go out and like see friends and stuff that often, but I saw a friend that I hadn't seen in years this weekend. It was his birthday, and so we had an outside birthday party kind of thing. And he, poor fella, made the mistake of telling me how much he really, really likes the current run of the X-Men. And I, without even realizing it, just sort of started my dissertation on why I'm fine with it, but I don't really think Hickman's a great fit over the X-Men, that he feels like it's Hickman writing the X-Men as opposed to the X-Men, much like I felt that Morrison writing with the characters of the X-Men just sort of along for the ride. And keeping it short, it was the first time I had seen that moment of when the person you're talking to completely checks out. And I just hadn't seen that in so long, and I was like, I remember, this is what it's like to people. That's right. Okay, now I should shut up. But now I'm on a roll, so I probably won't.
Great.
Damn it.
That's great.
But
That's okay,
when
JJ.
you realize that your baseline for the X-Men is, did Claremont write it? And if not, fuck off.
Yeah.
Is pretty much where I'm at. Yeah.
Mine are there students in the school? Because there have been some really good post Claremont school stories with the younger generation. And I'm sorry, what were you going to say something?
No, I was going to say it's okay that you feel that way, because apparently so does Hickman, because he's not writing them anymore either.
Well,
it's just, if you read enough Hickman, you get a feel for what Hickman sounds like, and I don't know, because he was talking about how much he liked Genosha and stuff, or not Genosha. See, that's the problem, is how much he likes. What 2.0. Yeah, and so I was trying to explain to him that this is at least the third time that the X-Men have tried to have a haven like this, and it always fucks up. And I just wish we would stop going to the well over and over and over.
They were having a haven with all the mutants, including Apocalypse, and
this is the big one.
I do like that they have pushed it like over the top with, we are the official ambassadors of Earth to people from beyond the solar system.
Yeah.
Like, fuck Homo sapiens, Homo superior will do the talking, the grown-ups are in the room. Like, that's kind of awesome. But
I keep wanting to leave because, the Hickman thing, he hasn't gotten anywhere with it. And now he's leaving. I did like Duggan's run on the X-Men line, on the X-Men title, which that's ending soon too.
Yeah, he did Savage Avengers. Wasn't he Savage Avengers?
He did Savage Avengers. He did the first run of Savage Avengers. There's another run coming that he's not doing. But he did Savage Avengers. He did Marauders. And he did this last run of the X-Men book.
Well,
really liked what he was doing, but he's leaving, and I was going to leave. But apparently they're bringing Gillen in, I guess, as the new head writer. And Gillen is the guy who wrote Phonogram and Wicked and Divine and
So you're
Young
stuck.
Avengers.
You're not going anywhere.
Young Avengers are like, shit.
Yeah,
Now I'm gonna stick around to see what he does.
I'm
My
kind of
whole thing is
because he's doing Eternals right now too. He's doing the Eternals book that's going on right now too.
Yeah,
which is really good.
Eternals. I will say House of X and Powers of X that opened it were the best X-Men I've read in I don't know how long. My problem is that they didn't follow through on it. They don't take their own premise seriously. They were doing stupid shit like, we're gonna have we're very serious. We're this Haven thing you talk about, JJ.
Yeah.
We're serious this time. We're taking this seriously. And then they let the only person who can communicate with the island go to the other side of the galaxy on like basically a beer run. And I'm like, no. And then they let knowing that humans won't stand for this and are going to send people to try to kill them, they let them basically paradrop onto the island when you have I don't know how many all the telepaths they're like in one place, and this happened. I'm like, listen, if I wanted to see powers that worked only when the plot allowed for them to work, I'd go back and watch the Star Wars prequels. This is ridiculous. So I had to bail. Inferno
does kind of pull some of that back.
Oh, Inferno is so sad. Why are we reusing all of the titles that came before?
Exactly.
2, it has no Inferno in it whatsoever.
In the 90s?
Yes, that's it. That's exactly right. There is no Inferno in it at all. At least in the new Secret Wars, you could make an argument that there were wars and they were secret.
They were secret, yeah.
But in this, there's no Inferno. And Roman numeral 3, I got to the end and I'm like, that's your reveal? That's your reveal. Wait, back up.
Yeah,
this right here is your reveal? Seriously?
I love the fact though at the end of it, Emma uses it to blackmail everybody. That's
in keeping with the character. It's just like you know what it reminded me of? It reminded me of
Here's why you all have to stay, because I know everything.
The Ultimates, the first run of the Ultimates, which I actually enjoyed. And they got to the end, and there's this huge explosion. Well, JJ, I liked it because they actually gave me a Captain America I gave a shit about, which is
I get it.
Yeah.
Didn't need to have that strong an opinion. Sorry.
No. It came right through on the screen. I get it, but basically, it was going to be a 13-issue thing. Issue 12 ends with a cliffhanger, huge explosion, and then there are artists and delays and everything for 6 months. And then they get to issue 13, and the resolution is, well, they're fine because Tony had a force field. And that's a fine resolution for a 30-day wait. If it had come out when it was supposed to, it probably would have been fine. But for a 6-month fucking wait, it wasn't worth it. That's what Inferno felt like. I read all of this to get to this? Seriously? What?
Which here's a secret. I didn't read all of it. I just read that and just read Inferno.
Oh, I only hit the high points.
If you don't read any of it, you can't be disappointed.
I left, so I just only hit the high points.
Yeah, I only read the shit. I only read the shit I wanted. So
I just was trying to wrap my head around Captain America. You gave a shit about, but that's
no. Here's why. The only time I liked Captain America in the Marvel books originally. Now he's fine, but originally was when he stood up to Thanos in Infinity Gauntlet. And I was like, that's fucking badass. And then in the Ultimates, I like how he basically walked up to the Hulk and kicked him in the nuts. And I went, now that's my Captain America. I want a Captain America who can go up against the Hulk and kick him in the nuts.
Well, in fairness, he beat the shit out of Hank Pym for being a wife beater too, and that was fun.
That was actually another point in his favor.
Get
big. You need to get big.
That abuse sequence is where I pulled out, though. I could after the reveal of him, like having the ants attack Jan, I'm out. That's too much for me.
Well, there was a lot wrong with the Ultimates. Don't get me wrong.
That's what that face was. I go back to that panel and go,
Yeah, I don't
yeah, you're talking to a dude that distinctly remembers being heavily invested in the U.S. agent. Cap walked off and John Walker took over Captain America arc, like from 1990 or whenever the fuck.
Let's just say you might like
you'll appreciate Falcon and Winter Soldier.
Falcon and Winter Soldier.
I knew they dropped a John Walker in there, and that makes me happy. But yeah, you know
who's playing him, right? You know who's playing him, right?
Playing Walker?
Yeah.
No, I don't.
Kurt Russell's kid.
Really?
It's the son of Ego.
I've not seen Kurt Russell's kid since he was in the goalie crease at UAH. So
there you go.
But yeah, I just
that's right. He was. Oh
what?
God! I was like, that's right. He was. Oh
he was.
Wow.
Yes, Russell's kid played goalie at UAH.
No, I remember that.
I just bought a subscription to Marvel Unlimited, so I've just now started catching up. I'm way behind in my books. I don't think I read much of the Hickman stuff past Powers of X and.
You really don't have to.
You're good.
I don't know that I will. I don't know that I will. I know there's other things. And that's the thing. Yeah, because I was I went to
the New Mutants run is pretty good.
Yeah, and I like the Marauders run.
Marauders is fantastic.
In fact, part of the reason I signed up for Marvel Unlimited is because right about here, there's a Pirate Kitty Pryde action figure on the shelf.
Yeah, I got that. I got the pirate one. It's weird though. It's the same as the other one, except she's got the scarf and the sword.
She's got scarf, sword. She's got a bandage over her nose, and her hip sticks out farther. She's sassier. Because
otherwise, it's the old figure with the old Lockheed. It's funny.
Yeah, because above her, I've actually got that one in the box.
Yeah, we've got the other one too.
And over by my television, I've got the Excalibur set that came out with. So I've got all three of the decent kitties that have come out, and they all have the same Lockheed. So I went to the comic book shop this weekend, and I saw anybody, if you go to Portland, go to Books with Pictures. It's by far the best comic book shop I've ever been to in my life. But they had I'm trying to remember the name of that particular crossover. It was the Morlocks in the Tunnels. Was the Mutant Massacre. They had a collected of the entire Mutant Massacre, and it was $125. I didn't have it on me to pick it up, although I was like, that is an era of the X-Men that I greatly enjoyed. And then I was trying to explain to my roommate as we were driving home how anyone who only knows the X-Men from now would be so confused reading that. For one thing, Wolverine's like in a coma because he got beat up so bad by Sabretooth. And he was trying to explain that he used to heal fast, but heal fast was like, better than me. But not like you would like. I remember reading in the 90s, I read a fight between the Punisher and Wolverine where the Punisher literally shot his face off. And like while they're fighting, he's thinking, Daredevil's listening to Daredevil must be in the fight too. Now that I say that, because Daredevil's listening to him, like his tongue regrow and shit, and thinking that he'll be able to start talking soon. And it's like, again, that's fine, but that's not how Wolverine was for a long time. And so I was like, just anyone who doesn't know that era of the X-Men, if you pick that up, you'd be like, who the fuck are these characters, even though I know who they are?
Hey, JJ.
Yeah.
Actually, there's a cheaper way to get the Mutant Massacre thing.
Oh.
Because I have the book.
Oh, no, this was a hardback.
Yeah. Well, not hardback, but you can get a cheaper version of this because it's the essentials. If you find the 6th essential volume, it actually of the X-Men, it actually includes all of the Mutant Massacre issues.
Oh, cool. So it has all the Thor and the Daredevil and all
It
that
has
shit?
the Thor and the Daredevil and the New Mutant stuff and all the X Factor issues and all of that.
Does it have
So-
the X-Men versus the Fantastic Four series?
I don't think it has X-Men versus Fantastic Four in it. But it has like all the Mutant Massacre stuff in addition to in addition to just the X-Men issues.
I've always had affection for that cover.
So I was looking at it right here, so I just
the John Romita Jr. era of Uncanny is I have a real soft spot for.
yeah. But I think it's this number 6 of the Essential series. The old,
And I just
Essentials
realized
run.
all this time we've been talking about the X-Men, I've been playing with this and just as like a little fidget.
That's great.
Well, we should probably mosey towards actual recommendations because it's becoming that time.
Okay.
So who would like to go first?
I can.
Go for it.
Go, Toughly.
So we'll start. Frank Turner's got a new album out. And since we were on the subject of that earlier with his tour with what was it? Which band? It was the Flogging Molly, wasn't it? Yeah.
Yes.
Yes. I'm, brain farting. It's fine. But he's got a new album out and it's really interesting. It's a little more, if you're familiar with Frank Turner's track, it's kind of a mixture of the melodical stuff he's been doing on the last couple of albums and a lot more of the punk stuff that he in his original band that he was in. So it's a really good record. I enjoyed it. Also, I've been playing the Guardians of the Galaxy game.
I want that.
Yeah, it's fun. It's
free on
not
Game
exactly,
Pass. It's free on Game Pass now.
It's on Game Pass now. Yep. I'm kind of partial way in, but I've really enjoyed the story part. It's probably the best writing in a Marvel game so far, I think. Which is
easy, Toughly. That's what we call damning with faint praise.
I know.
Hey,
I was
where's
about
your high
to
bar?
say.
The Avengers?
I'm about to
'Cause
say.
No.
I was about to say it's a Square Enix Marvel game, so your mileage may vary.
Yeah.
Don't go too far into that. And a lot of people still hold Square Enix Marvel games responsible for, dropping IO off a cliff and bailing on Hitman when they probably shouldn't have. But to pay for the rights to Marvel games, that was a bad idea. But yeah, I've enjoyed the Guardians game. And it's actually very good. And hopefully more people will find it since it's now on Game Pass. And that's it.
Okay. Cool. Thank you, Toughly. All right, who's next?
I don't really have much, so I can go real quick.
Go!
Music wise, I will say I bought it doesn't come out for 2 weeks, but I just bought the New Regrets album and I'm looking forward to that coming out. So that will have come out before we record again. I got it on pink vinyl. It should be fun.
Oh, there you go.
I also I know this is not a new band by any stretch of the imagination, but it was one of those things where you stumble upon a band when you kind of just are looking for something different. And so it's been very nice. And it's the band Brass Against. They do basically brass covers. I think they must have started as a brass band cover. A brass band Rage Against the Machine.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's what most of their stuff is, but they also throw in some Soundgarden, some Living Color, some they do some Tool, which I'm not a fan of, but their versions are better. And it's just, I don't know, I found it just kind of when you're just burnt out and you want to listen to something different. It's been nice to unfortunately in the quest to find new music, you can't just go to the internet now and go play something I've never heard before button. And so you don't want to keep going to the same thing over and over and over. Which also brings me to a project that I've been doing this year that I am enjoying. I picked a band this year that I like the music of, but I realize that I am woefully ignorant on. And so I'm going through and album by album exploring the kinks.
Oh, good man.
Oh.
And it has been interesting because I know, I there hasn't been a single album that I've played that I haven't known a couple tracks off of, but I don't know any of the deep cuts. So it's been my way of just, and when I get through the kinks, I'll pick another band, but it's just been my way of just kind of trying to expand my musical knowledge, because we all have, no matter how wide you cast your net, you're still only casting your net in a very small portion of the ocean. So there's so much out there. So that's been fun. And the last thing I was going to say is I picked up this amazing, actually it was a gift, but this amazing, it's called The Eternal Dao De Ching. It is a new translation by Benjamin Hoff, who wrote the Tao of Pooh and the Day of Piglet. And as I said earlier, I have intense anxiety. I have social anxiety. I am I am a bit of a piglet in a lot of ways. If you've read those books, you would understand what I'm saying. But so I find that every once in a while, I have a couple of DAOs that I go back to, and I have a translation by Ursula K. Le Guin that's really good. I have this one that I just picked up, and so it's good for me every once in a while to just kind of touch base and go, okay, you don't have to worry about shit. Shit's going to happen, whether you're paying attention to it or not. But this is really just a beautiful translation, because not only is it the beautiful poetry with a new sort of, he went back and he's trying to not modernize it as much as make the language relevant to what he was actually trying to say. So he went back to like ancient translations instead of more modern translations of the text, and it's been really cool. But it's also just lavishly illustrated, and it's just sort of, it's a very, just holding it in your hand is very calming. I was also lucky enough to get it autographed because he's from Oregon, and he went into my local bookstore and signed a bunch of copies. So but yeah, so that's kind of what's been getting me through. Next.
Hey, JJ.
Yeah.
Why don't you tell people about your radio show?
Oh, and I do a radio show now. So once it's the first Monday of every month, and it is 9 o'clock. It's 9 o'clock British. So that'd be what, GMT? Greenwich Mean Time. So in Pacific time, it comes on like at 1 o'clock in the afternoon, but it's called You Love Musicals and So Do We. And so it's me and my buddy Matt Lees, where we are doing a show that is so toughly it hurts, because it is focusing completely on the art of musicals. And one thing that I'm trying to do with the show is also make people realize that musicals don't necessarily have to be just talk a little, sing a little, talk a little, sing a little.
I bet they know a song about that.
The last show, the last show we just did, I threw in, I threw in a pop song that Mika covered, or where Mika threw in like a lot of elements from the song "Popular" from Wicked. So I threw in some pop, and we also threw in Rabbit of Seville. So just a reminder that pretty much musicals are all sorts of things that you're not even paying attention to. So just kind of, and we're about to do not this coming month, but the month after that, we're going to do an episode that I'm looking forward to that's going to be completely focused on movie scores. So just kind of trying to bring a light to music that isn't necessarily played all the time. And that would be on the radio station SW20 Radio. So you can find it at sw20radio.co.uk. That's right. We're trying to figure out if a way to put it out on SoundCloud or something, but we haven't yet, because we don't own the music, we can't really podcast it. So we're trying to figure out a way to make it downloadable. And as soon as we figure out a legal way to do that, we will. So thank you, Rob.
Mm-hmm.
Very cool.
Thank you, JJ.
I look forward to the episode where Tuffley is a guest and you try to drive him insane.
You should get Captain Sensible to be on. He loves musicals. And he
all right.
And he recorded the Happy Talk. cover. So yeah.
Wow. Okay. Who's next?
So I will. I don't have songs. I don't have shows. I will say, as an aside, and mostly for JJ's benefit, if you are interested, the Mark Salzman has a couple of books that I think are kind of in the wheelhouse of what you're talking about. These are not new books by any stretch. There's a book called Iron and Silk and another one called Lost in Place, Growing Up Absurd in Suburbia. These are Zen Buddhists text through a very like American suburbanite lens that I think if the Tao appeals to you, these are another Westerner who's had that same experience of finding some solace in those books. So highly recommend those. And more applicable to the broader audience, now that they are all out, the Sandman Slim series is now complete at 12 volumes. I have finished volumes 9 and 10 in the past 3 days, and I'm moving on to 11 and 12. Richard Kadri, fantastic fucking books. That I hope will get some kind of adaptation at some point, though I struggle to see how you do justice to a dude who was betrayed by his magical cabal, spent 12 years in hell as an arena fighter, and clawed his way back to the surface to fuck people up in LA in the most blood-soaked crime noir I've ever read. I'm 10 volumes in and will be knocking out the other 2 before probably the next month is out. So highly recommend those.
Cool. Thank you, Doc. Rob, I think we're to you then.
Okay, so Jesus, I'm completely not doing anything Buddhist. I'm gonna recommend a book by Egil Bjornsson. I think I'm pronouncing his name right, but he's from Iceland, so I get a free pass. He's got J's in it, and he's not Bjork. So, but he has a book called How Iceland Changed the World, and it's all about all things Iceland, from discovering North America to settling Greenland to renewable energy sources and all kinds of cool stuff about Iceland. And it's a really great, concise history of Viking exploration and things without getting bogged down in all the stereotypes about Vikings. It's really, really good. So I recommend that. And also David Handry, who's a British writer. He wrote a book on Radio 4 a couple of years ago. Now has a book called BBC, A People's History. So it's basically a people's history of the BBC, which turns 100 this year. And it's mind-numbingly comprehensive, but great. Anything you want to know about the BBC, or even shows that you liked on the BBC, or anything to do with the BBC, it's utterly, completely fascinating. So I recommend that. Also, I want to recommend 2 records that are coming out in the next couple weeks. The first is, if you haven't listened to Wet Leg yet, I can't really help you. But yeah, their debut record is coming out. They have sold out, I think, an entire tour of North America in 8 minutes, which is pretty amazing for a band with a first record. But they're making the talk show round, so if you get a chance to see them, do that. And also, Everything Was Beautiful, the new record from Spiritualized. No one does just sad and melancholic like Spiritualized, and it's really, really good. So I recommend that. And then Kids on a Crime Spree. They're from Oakland. They're noisy and they're fun, so I want to recommend them as well. And then movie-wise, I'm going to recommend Coda, which is really, really, really good. So there you go. Ding.
Cool. Thanks, Rob.
Yep.
All right, John, I think that leads us to you.
I guess it does. Let me recommend something. How about Severance? It's a Apple TV, Apple Plus.
Oh, I was worried for
TV Plus Severance, starring Ben Wyatt from The Office. Parks and Rec, and I can't remember the actual actor's name. Can't pull it right now.
Adam Scott.
What's that?
Adam Scott.
There we go. Adam Scott. Yeah, it's a brilliant, mind-bending, dark comedy with a lot to say about, well, a lot of things, mostly capitalism and exploitation of workers. But it's in a fun way.
That's the new Ben Stiller thing, right?
Yes. I believe created by Ben Stiller, right?
Yeah,
I know he's show running it.
I think he directed an episode or two as well.
Yeah.
So that was really good. Also, just started on HBO Max. There's a series called Minx, which is which we've enjoyed. And if you don't want to see dongs, then don't watch this show.
I have heard that is the most penis saturated show.
But that's sort of the point of the show. So it's very well done. It's got several actors that I've enjoyed that are in it, and it's very well done. Lastly, I've been obsessed after work because work has been fairly stressful. Well, work is always stressful. I suppose at some point in your life it becomes that way. And I'm still in therapy, by the way, JJ, because just like you, I go off on these. At some point, I'll get back to the fact, losing my father at an early age or whatever. But right now,
that's fun. I went through that too. Hey,
let's talk about this other thing. So what was I saying? Where was I? Oh, after work, I've been de-stressing with a 2016 game titled "The Flame in the Flood." It was a indie game. It's depending on how much mode you're playing, it can be an endless survival game, but it's both relaxing and stressful at the same time. Even at the point where you've sort of gathered enough supplies that you're kind of churning through stuff, you still can. Things can still come up on you and shock you and surprise you, but also it has a nice peaceful flow to it. The artwork is nice and peaceful.
Music's fucking fantastic.
Oh, the music is amazing. I'm always hoping for the next song to come out. Every time I get back on my raft, ooh, which song's gonna play now? Okay. But yeah, it's from 2016. It was free. I know it's on Game Pass, but it was also a free Games with Gold pick. I think it's still available right now as we record, but by the time you get this, it probably won't be. Especially since, we're towards the end of the month now. But
it'll still be on Game Pass, though.
Yeah, it'll still be on Game Pass.
Yeah, for all you Xboxy people.
Well, it's available also on Steam and PlayStation 4, Switch.
I think PlayStation Plus did offer it as a freebie a while back.
Yeah, it's on every platform at this point.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think I looked because I was looking this up. It was I think it's like $14 on Steam or something like that. But anyway, it's that company that developed it was Molasses Flood, which apparently was later purchased by CD Projekt. So
great name for a company.
Yeah.
What was the name of that game again? I'm sorry.
Flame in the Flood, or The Flame in the Flood.
Okay.
And I got it on Steam, on Xbox, whatever, which you can probably try and buy Xbox games over on Amazon. And you go through needcoffee.com/ this is how I'm going to get to the URL.com/widget. Take it away. You'll get you'll be there at your Amazon thingy.
Yep. John is absolutely correct. If you go to needcoffee.com/Amazon, you'll wind up on the front page of Amazon, exactly like you'd gone to the front page of Amazon, because that's what you've done. So if you purchase anything through there, we get the kickbacks, which, as Rob says, helps keeps the lights on, and lights are good because otherwise I would be running into things. I already do that if I lose my glasses. So recommendations for me. The first thing I would recommend, since I've been watching a lot of Antiques Roadshow out of the UK, is if you're in the UK, go to your garden, go to a thrift store, go look in Skips, because apparently over there you can find all kinds of amazing shit just by looking anywhere. Because oh, I found this, ancient bust of Apollo just hanging out in my garden. And so it was free. And we found it after we bought the house. And, oh, it's worth thousands of dollars. That's awesome. Whereas, every time I've tried to watch the American Antiques Roadshow, it's like, how much for this Scooby-Doo lunchbox? It's kind of just really, it doesn't hold up. So Antiques Roadshow UK is fun. And but again, if you're in the UK, send me stuff because apparently it's all pretty cool. Also, as I said before, watching Our Flag Means Death, which is kind of ridiculous in the best way. And yeah, so if you want pirate lunacy, I'll put it this way. I haven't watched a lot of pirate stuff, but it's the best pirate lunacy I've seen since Ice Pirates. So there you go.
And WEJ, just so you're aware, and I know it's inferior, but the American Antiques Roadshow will be within driving distance of you in May. They're coming to Nashville.
Oh my God.
Go just to go to Nashville.
Just take your Welcome Back Cotter lunchbox and just see it, get it valued.
Meet me in Nashville. We'll get drunk and go to Antiques Roadshow and troll them with random shit from our closet.
Let me know, man. Do it.
Now you're talking.
I know that Judas Priest is going to be in Nashville this weekend. I've got a buddy that's going.
We should get drunk and take Judas Priest Antiques Roadshow. You're right, JJ. That's a great idea.
Is it a
How much
coincidence?
is this spiked collar? What?
Is it a coincidence that you never see Judas Priest and Antique Roadshow in the same place at the same time?
It's because
Have you ever noticed that?
Everybody in Antiques Roadshow is actually going out on stage in big gay leather daddy outfits.
Again.
It's fucking great. That's why you have to see it live.
That's why you have to see the Antiques Roadshow live. Because you missed so much on the television version.
I want Halford to host the Antiques Roadshow now.
Oh fuck yeah!
100% about that. Yes,
that would be amazing. Actually, that would be amazing.
CBS can afford that shit.
Awesome.
If only they had that Sony money.
They need Sony money. Yeah.
Yeah. So, I guess that brings us to the end of another episode of Weekend Justice. And as we stare over the fog and mist that has erupted around the crater of the last 3 hours, close to 3 hours. If you round up, it's 3 hours. I think all that's left is for us to stare at each other in dumbfoundedness and say, Sharpies.
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 Not until the check clears. Not until the check clears. Don't do that until the check clears.
What? Say
the Sharpie check.
Sharpies? Oh,
Sharpie.
The Sharpie
we need
check.
big Sharpie money.
We don't have that Sharpie money. We don't have Sharpie money, much less Sony money. Come on now.
Please don't squeeze the Sharpie.
The other problem is that when they're writing the Sharpie check, it's bleeding through to the next 6 checks.
That's the problem.
It's a huge problem.
Yeah.
It's a huge problem. They should have switched to a dot matrix printer long ago. I know.
It's the dream. It's
the dream.
Big Sharpie money.
Yeah. Terry Gilliam and his sets are keeping dot matrix printers in business because they're needed.
When my father took me, so my father was a telephone repairman, and when he took me when I was very young to a telephone exchange, and so the way that the telephone signals actually would work at the exchanges is 2 pieces of metal would actually have to touch to make the signal to carry it on to the next one. So you would walk in and it just sounded like the world's largest dot matrix printer if a single dot matrix printer was actually the size of a city block.
Wow.
But now everything's digitized, so it doesn't work that way anymore.
That doesn't work like that anymore. That must have been amazing. I need to find some audio of that. Just like I need to find some audio of the flame phone. The crazy Antiques Roadshow, where they had a some kind of gramophone that was supposed to play through natural gas flames.
Ooh.
And do something to the audio, which I don't understand because I can't find a video of it. So but it must
See,
exist.
those are better than cassettes.
That's gonna be the next thing.
It's strangely
that
more
would be the next thing. All the kids will want those.
More portable and more popular than a mini disc. So,
yep. I got the pink natural gas cartridge. It's great. It's amazing. It's a 180 gram natural gas cartridge. I don't even know how that works. How that would work.
But the explosions really make that bass kick, man.
Yeah, it dries your hair. I understand.
You'll believe you're in the room as Les Claypool hits all of those great Geddy Lee riffs.
Richard Tones.
Oh my God.
Richard Tones.
All right.
That's it.
That's it.
Now.
What's that?
Here we go now.
Yes, run away.
Go whenever you want. I mean, that's the beauty.
Yeah, I mean, we don't. I don't know. I don't know how. It's been so long since you were here. People just come and go. I don't even know.
Sign like 20 minutes ago. You're fine.
Leave studio.
Says the person who left an hour ago.
Well, that's how it works. It's a soundboard. Soundboard is kind of like Predator. It's just, it speaks back to you in voices that you recognize while waiting, hiding.
I was about to say, if John suddenly produces the Predator laugh from the soundboard, like right now, I'm walking. We're done.
Spoiler is probably not, but it's going to be Jam.
I still like this Nashville idea.
Leave studio.
That's as close to the Predator scream as you're going to get. And make no Predator scream. I'll tell you that much.
Podcast version of Stranger Danger.
What? Oh my God!
Run like
all right. Thanks, guys. I'm gonna go pee.
Bye, lunatics.
Leave studio.
Au revoir.
Take